Charlotte Dixon's going to take this.
This is going to be an incredible finish.
So exciting, but it's so close.
Bar Henson of Denmark just crept in there.
Meg Knight just gets it.
Here comes Arabella Carbut.
Hello and welcome to the 2022 World Rowing Virtual Indoor Championships presented by Concept2. My name's Camilla Hadland. I'm going to be your anchor for today, taking you through all of the racing. And we're joined by a great team of commentators as well. Martin Cross, Akil Abdullah for the first part of the morning, and we'll be joined later on by Shane Farmer. We've got a huge range of races here today. We've got first up the PR1-II and III men's and women's races, over 2,000 meters, followed by the teams races and the 500 meter sprints to take us through the rest of the day. So, Martin, you're back again after last year's success. What are you most looking forward to from today's programme?
Well, do you know, I think we've got the 500 meters today after we've got the 2K Paralympic categories, and I just get a real buzz when I see that the men and the women just get those scores on the ergometer right down. I mean, I'm thinking of, you know, Phil Clapp down to 110 for his world record. I just can't. I've never even seen numbers like that when I've been on the ergo, and it's just amazing to hear the sound and the intensity. Elena Buriak of the Ukraine entered in the women's, former world record holder of a 2K. Just the excitement of getting those scores down. It's going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting. All the short, sharp races today, those 500 meters. And Akil, it's your first time being here at the Virtual Championships. What are you most excited about?
You know, I'm excited to be here. There's so much energy. These athletes have worked so hard. You know, like the energy that and all the hard work that they've put in to make it here. It's just really amazing to watch them do the thing that they love.
Yeah, and all doing the thing that they love, and they've gone on such a journey to get here. They all had to go through a qualification system to be able to even take part in these finals that are being live broadcast. So we've got a quick VT to show you of what that process looked like and how they all managed to achieve their place here at the World Rowing Virtual Indoor Championships.
Hello, my name is Moise. My qualification race for 500.
Hey, my name is Jeremy Weaver. I am doing a 500 meter test.
Hassan Gadri from Saudi Arabia.
Mayam Ahmed, Dimioti from Egypt.
Julien Brabant, France.
I'm representing Puerto Rico.
I am Amanda Riley, and today is the 23rd of January.
Mr. Samroy Kornar.
I'm Seyfin Algan Sofyalı from Moda Türk Kulübü, representing Turkey.
I'm Matt Stankiewicz. Today is January 10th.
Hello, my name is Leo Muista, and this is my qualification race for 500 meters.
This is how Finnish record is done.
Go.
Select bar called.
3, 2.
Attention, go.
So just a taster of what we've got to look forward to today. And the first race on the programme, well, we're going to see a number of categories. It's our para rowing 2,000 metres. We've got PR1, 2, 3 and PR3 II categories here racing, and taking you through those 2,000 metres and to talk to you a little bit more about what we're going to see from each of those categories. Martin and Akil, take it away.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting race with so many mixed categories, but the standout name, I think, Shamil Daniel, sixth in the Tokyo Olympics in the PR1 category, the 36-year-old, going head to head against Javier Rey Munoz from Spain, who's got a very close qualification time to that. And then we go down the PR1 categories just using the back. Not able to use the legs. The PR2 categories, an impairment in the legs, but they're able to use much more of their body. And then the PR3, usually something like a visual impairment or some other kind of impairment, and they're able to use the whole of the sliding seat. So you can see at the moment the entries there. Yellow is the PR1 category, red is the PR2, green is the PR3, and then we have the purple categories at the end, which is the intellectual impairment, and they're also able to use their full slide. Here we go, Akil.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. You know, the one thing that I love about what I've seen in rowing over the past decade is the inclusion, about how it's there for everyone to do and really challenge themselves.
Yeah. You can see the athletes just sat ready, waiting on their ergometer machines, all linked in for us with the cameras. Cameras working at the moment, just taking a short breath, controlling their breathing. What do you think of in moments before the start, Akil, when you're just about to begin an erg?
You know, the first thing I like to do is make sure that I'm mentally ready, make sure that I'm hydrated. And, you know, going through my head, it's a little bit different here with the virtual race. You have the athletes all over, so you don't have that energy that you normally have. So, you know, I think that one of the things with their team around, with the people helping them, they're really just trying to get their mind ready to pull as hard as they can.
Yeah. And these are all tense moments. This is a 2-kilometer race that we're seeing. And in the PR3 category, Shamil Daniel posted a 7:38 in the qualifying. Some of the more speedy races in the PR3.
Yeah, I think it'll be really interesting to see, you know, the next closest time was Giacomo Perini, and it'll be interesting to see for Shmuel if he can really get out and establish a strong lead and take control of the race, or whether the others will be there right there with him.
Yeah, and don't be surprised if you see some of the 2K PR3 rowers who are able to use the full slide. There is a 6:25 posted by the Russian Anton Voronov, 6:48 posted by the Slovakian Milan Lakovic. So you'll get different timings. So the important thing, if you to look at the results, is to check the colours for the different categories that we see, and then we'll get an idea of where they're placed. But this is a 2K race. Most of the races we see today will be over 500 meters. These para categories going for the full 2K distance. When's the last time you did a 2K, Akil?
Actually, I'm glad you asked that, Martin. I did one last week. I did two or three. 3 by 2K was what I did. Yeah.
Outstanding.
It's a grueling test and a great workout, and I really love the 3 by 2 minutes that I work out. I don't think it's anything compared to the athletes that we're going to see today. Maybe back when I was in better shape, but now it's just to hold on so that I can play with my kids, you know, so that they don't beat me up too bad.
Yeah, we've got a short delay for technical issues. I guess that's not surprising, considering the kind of complex technology that we need to connect these athletes from all over the world. We'll be with you shortly, but we are just experiencing a short delay before this para category in the World Virtual Indoor Rowing Championships gets underway.
Yeah, it's really amazing to watch. And it's, as you said, the landscape has changed with these virtual events, and the technology involved has really evolved actually over the past 2 years. And it's nice to see. Like I said, I just love that we're sitting here and we're watching rowers from all over the world.
Yeah, 66 countries we've got competing here at the 2022 World Rowing Virtual Indoor Championships. And actually, that's something that always amazes me, that we can connect all of these athletes. And of course, there are going to be a couple of technical issues, I think, along the way, trying to connect all of these 736 athletes across the course of today and tomorrow. But of course, now we've just got a short delay before we kick off racing. Remember that you can get in touch with us on social media if you're competing today and tomorrow. Remember to include us in your hashtags on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook using the hashtags Indoor Rowing, World Rowing Indoor and hashtag WRICH. But it looks like we're getting ready to start, and Martin, the last crew's now stopping rowing.
Yes, we hope this is the sign of the first strokes in these Virtual World Indoor Rowing Championships. I need to say the correct order, don't I? The 2022 World Rowing Virtual Indoor Championships. And we're shortly going to see the first stroke, we hope, of those championships, which will take us through not just today, but tomorrow as well.
It's really really tense being the first to race. I think all of that tension. It's palpable.
Yeah. So it's difficult to know whether to jump in now. The athletes have seen that stop rowing sign on their machines, on their visual display.
Okay.
You can see the race tracker there.
Up 7 and 10 are wheels still spinning. I mean, that's the amazing thing, that we're getting all of these athletes to start pretty much all together.
It is, isn't it? All around the world, and all the athletes have stopped rowing. We're just waiting.
Oh boy, here we go.
And we are underway. That is so exciting. The first strokes in the World Indoor Virtual Rowing Championships. And you can see Shamil Daniel in the PR1 category just moving out in the first 100 meters. Pretty decent start from him. But Javier Rea Munez, you see the two yellow boats, the Spanish athlete, just taking a slight 3-meter lead. What about the other competitions in this event, Akil?
Yeah, it looks like, we have both in the PR3 and the PR2 categories. It's nice to see what's going on. Down there we have Anton Vornavov really trying to establish a bit of a lead there to really stretch it out and take control of that category.
Vaclav Trinka there, the athlete from Czechoslovakia or the Czech Republic. You can see, I think the power of Shamil Daniel, you can see him on the top left of the screen, just the way he's just pivoting from the hips and using his body. I mean, it's fantastic, isn't it? And, the scores he's pulling, 147, 146, or just around 150 now. It's just amazing for that length of stroke. I'm not sure I could pull that at all.
Yeah, I know. And we have Javier Munoz is really starting to creep out a little bit there, establish himself as the lead. I always like to think, coming through the 500, the race is really starting now. Looking over, seeing what my competitors are doing, and trying to see if I can just put a little bit of a squeeze on them to see if they'll hang in there.
Yeah. So in the PR2 category, Alberto Quaglito, boat number 8, down at 147s. He qualified with a 7:14, and he is leading the PR2 category. Voronov from Russia leading the PR3 category, down at 136, 137s. And then we've got a pretty close race with the intellectually impaired PR3 category. It's the Ecuadorian Javier Enrique Vargas Menobanda, boat number 17, leading that race. And we've got 4 different races here. I'm interested that Munoz is leading Daniel out in front, because both of them qualified with around about 7:38, 7:39. So they qualified with very similar times, which, if that's the case, it would suggest that Shamil Daniel will have something left in the tank in the second 1,000 meter of this race.
Yeah, you know, that's one strategy that is often used, is the reverse split. And I like to use that sometimes in races. I like to just hold back, and as the race goes on, getting faster and faster. It's no way to know what approach these athletes are using to race. So this is really the exciting part. Looking down here, we see in the PR2, it looks like Italy is really pressing hard. Alberto is really established himself. He's got a nice bit of a buffer there. But as we all know, even at 1,000 meters, the race isn't over.
Yeah, and we've got Shamil Daniel really winding up. You can see he's down at, he's had a little push there, tried to get back on the former canoeist Javier Rea Munoz. Munoz qualified for rowing for the 2020 Paralympics, and he is out in front in the PR1 category. Voronov is out in front in the PR3 category. Alberto Quaglito has led from the off the Italian in the PR2 category, and just establishing the lead is Brian Vincino Quiglando Tonato from Ecuador, with that lead 27 meters over his fellow countryman in the PR3 intellectually impaired category. And we're coming into the last 750 meters for the PR1s. PR3, of course, coming up to the last 500 meters. Voronov got an ocean of blue between him and the Tunisian Sekti Lacour.
Yeah, I think that both we're seeing in the both in the PR2 and PR3 categories, there's some nice leads that that Alberto Quiglati has and Voronov have. It's still tight. We see some good racing here, basically from Thailand and Argentina in that PR2 category. It's really tight.
Yeah, that's for that bronze medal position. Just not much between them. We're into the last 250 meters for the PR3 category. The Russian Voronov qualified with 6:25, came 7th in Beijing, won the B final of the PR3 Cox Fours. So
Lakovic is really putting down the hammer here, though. He's at a 1:30. I don't think he's going to have enough to catch Voronov, but he's still really trying to inch out to make sure that he gets that silver medal.
Yeah, you can see Voronov and Lakovic there powering away. Voronov on the left of your screen, Lakovic on the right of your screen. And you can see exactly Lakovic is down to 1:28. He's moving back all the time, but Voronov's got such a lead, hasn't he, Akil?
Yeah. I mean, this is it. You know, this is Lakovic is like, this is why I'm here. I'm here to race, and he's 1:27s. I mean, this is good stuff here.
So Voronov has finished. We'll let you know his time very shortly. Lakovic coming in second place in the PR3s. It's a very close race, isn't it, for that bronze medal position?
And they're coming in there. Here we go. We have Lahore and Trinka. Who's going to be first?
And
get that bronze.
Like,
there we go.
Siddiqui Lahoya. Yeah.
And coming in
just
down
ahead of Trinca.
PR3-II, we have Tanto from Ecuador finishing first. And we have the other ones. The other races are starting to come through now. Alberto Quigliotti has really set himself out as the standard in this category.
The PR2 category, that's a massive big margin. And Javier Rea Munez takes the clash between him and Shamil Daniel. 7:23. That is quicker than his qualifying time. And Shamil Daniel 7:29. That was at 10 seconds. So both went significantly quicker in the PR1 category than their qualifying time. But it was Javier Rea Munez, the former canoeist, who took that race in the PR1. And we are just waiting for the PR2 categories to finish. The Latvian athletes, Chris Mikevich, Julian Pablo Garcia, and Pongakson Chumachai from Thailand.
This is I can't believe how excited I still get watching these athletes do this. It's really a testament to how much effort that they put in to make it here to the finals.
Yeah, it really is. And that was a great picture we saw of Voronov there, the Russian, at the finish, looking exhausted but delighted. The Russian PR3 athlete, after winning that B final in Tokyo. There is Perini.
And bringing it in, watching the Tunisia in Australia. Here we have Fednasi, really coming through here, trying to close it out.
Yeah, we have Tristan Condon, the 41-year-old from Australia, and Fednasi, 38 years of age from Tunisia, just coming through to the last few meters.
His teammates are right there pulling him through. Come on. I love to see that. That to me is exciting. Yes.
And he is exhausted. And the final competitor finish, 41-year-old from Australia, Tristan Condon, just the last few meters in this PR1 category, won by the Spanish athlete Javier Rea Munez. And I think we have all athletes finishing. So hopefully we've got the next race coming up shortly, which is the 2K Women's PR1, PR2, PR3 categories. And that will be one of the races that we'll have over the 2K distance. One of the two races we'll have this morning. Most of our races are over this morning, but welcome whatever time you're tuning in. I know it's different times all over the world. It's certainly morning here in the UK. What time is it for you, Akil?
It's early. Yeah, I am the only one stirring in the house right now. So, but it's really, to me, to be able to watch this event and to be able to bring a bit of to be able to throw some adjectives at what these athletes are doing and the hard work that they've put in over this past year. To me, it's really thrilling.
So you can see up there the competitors, yellow for the PR1, and we've got no PR2 categories, but the women's PR3 categories, we've got 3 athletes in green, and then the intellectually impaired PR3 categories, we've got 2 athletes down there in the purple. I guess the name that stands out there, Akil, is the Paralympian Sylvia Peeler-Steppard. We often see her on rowing courses.
Yeah.
And she was in the Beijing PR1 single sculls, took 5th place behind the winner Bridget Skarstein of Norway.
Yeah.
Qualified with an 8:31, which is the quickest out of all those athletes.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, and I'm sure we're going to see, hopefully, some more huge performances, because one thing we should note is provisionally in that last race, Javier Rejan Munoz got a new world record in the PR1, which just goes to show you, even if you transfer sports, indoor rowing can be a real breeding ground for some great talent, and great to see people transferring across from other sports.
And we have a start in the women's 2K, the PR1, the PR3, and the intellectually impaired PR3. Sylvia Peeler-Steppard just sort of springing out in front there, just behind her, Najudia Garbi, the Algerian, just 5 meters behind, and Ludovica Tramontine in the PR3 category, establishing a 5-meter lead over her Russian rival Zagot.
Yeah, and Bronte Marshall is really establishing a lead as well. It's getting out at that start. When you're coming out of the start, you're trying to really get the flywheel spinning and come out as fast as you can and get into that sort of the endurance part of the race. So it's interesting to watch the different starting techniques that all of these athletes have.
Yeah, and pretty much out in front at the moment is the Italian Tramontine. You can see she's gone through the 1700 meter mark with a 13-meter lead over Valentina Zagat. I noticed Zagat, when we saw the picture of her, was wearing those dark glasses. Must be, I guess, some visual impairment for the Russian athlete. And she's tracking the Italian closely. Zagat qualified with just a sub 8 minutes. And Tramontine qualified with a 7:33. So Tramontine comes in with definitely the best qualifying time. So you'd expect her to be the favourite for this race. But look at the margin that Sylvia Peeler-Steppard has opened up, Akil. 40 plus meters over Najua Garbi.
Yeah, and this is one of the things that the when you're in indoor rowing, you have the ability to really use different techniques, and so. But there's no doubt here, when that flywheel is spinning, the energy, you can really see that that Sylvia is really pushing out there, trying to establish even more of a lead, and so coming through the 1500. There's still a lot of race to go, so we'll see what these athletes can do.
Tramontine there, you can see the Italian really driving through, opening out with the back just on the second part of the stroke, just getting that flywheel accelerating. She's pulling 1:52s, and as she goes into the second quarter of this race, just past the 1250 meters, there's no let up. She is only 20 meters ahead of Zagat, the Russian. She's got about 2 or 3 seconds on the split ahead of her closest rival. You can see all the athletes. Sylvia Peeler-Steppard, quite a high rating style that Sylvia Peeler-Steppard has got there, Akil.
Yeah, and from it's if I think back to my career and my career on the erg as well, I could never row high, and so it's interesting. I like seeing the different techniques. You get up there, you use whatever technique you can to really go as fast as possible.
Yeah, and Sylvia Peeler-Steppard is pulling 2:05, and I'll tell you what, if you just want to try, if you're able-bodied and just sit on the rowing machine and not use your legs and see what splits you can get, because I tell you what, that's fantastic what Sylvia Peeler-Steppard is pulling, because I've tried it and it's hard to get there.
It is this is true. This is true. Nice view here of Tremontine in the PR3 category. You know, she's actually very good technique. Engaging those legs, really pulling through with the back. Here we go. Bronte Marshall, another with the rhythm a little high here. You can see.
Yeah, this is in the intellectually impaired PR3 category. Bronte Marshall is out in front. She's even faster than Claire Marie Janicki from Germany in the PR3 category. But at the moment, she's got a big lead over Serena Giorgetti from Italy. There we see Sylvia Pila-Steppard with that high rating style, just locking on at the front ends, still pulling out those 205, 206s. Really impressive from the German Paralympic athlete, 5th in the Tokyo Paralympics. As you said, behind Norway's Bridget Skarstein. Yes, Akil.
I was going to say she's continuing to pull away. I mean, this is just, it's really impressive to watch her continue to pull away as she comes down the course, each stroke taking a little bit more. And when you're out that far, sometimes it's hard to stay focused to keep yourself in the zone. So I'm having a great time just watching her do her thing here.
There is the athlete in second place, Jagot. She's maintained that distance behind Tremontine of 34 meters. I think Jagot is going to do a faster time here than she posted in the qualifiers. I think it was around about sub 7, so it was, what was it, about 6? No, sorry, sub 8, so 7:59. So I think she's going to go under that today because she's having a great row just to keep that close to Tremontine.
And you often wonder how these athletes will do compared to their qualifying times. Will they be able to improve upon that? Are they having an off day? Are they ready to really pull it off? And as we come into this last 250 for the PR2, it'll be interesting to see what happens out between Tremontine and Zagat. As you said, it looks like Zagat right now is pulling some pulling some nice splits, 158, making up a little bit of difference there.
Yeah, Tremontine really invested in the first part of the race, didn't she? And Jagot, you know, trying her best to get close to the Italian, and she has made up about 3 or 4 meters in this last part of the race. But Tremontine, that technique which has served her so well throughout the race, is coming up to the finish line.
Yeah,
final few strokes. And Tremontine comes up to the finish and 7:36.
There you go. And there it is, the agony, all of the pain, but also all of the joy right there.
So Tremontine was a little slower than her qualification time, just 3 seconds slower. Decent split though, 1:7:36. Valentina Zagot from Russia finished second in that category, significantly quicker than her qualification time. So we're looking for quite a close race actually at the top with the PR1 category and at the bottom with the PR3 intellectually impaired category. And I think Sylvia Pila-Steppard is just going to beat Bronte Marshall to the line. And Sylvia Pila-Steppard qualified with 8:31. A Paralympic athlete. What's she going to pull now? Oh, she's gone under that, Akil.
8:20, yeah, 8:24 it looks like, and it's always nice to pull a better score in the finals here, go a little bit faster.
Claire Marie Janicki comes in third place in the women's PR3 category with 8:38, and Bronte Marshall from Australia has confirmed her first place in the PR3 intellectually impaired category with 8:27.
interesting to see if the race for the bronze, how that shakes out here. I don't know if if Thailand will be able to make up the difference there, if Sakanya will be able to pull any closer in this last 250.
Yeah, Pandong Yang's got an awful lot of work to do, hasn't she, as we come into the last 150 meters. That bronze medal, Laura Murato, she is pulling lower split 237s to Pandong Yata's 250.
And we'll find out in just a minute how all of that racing wraps up. But first, a message from some of our partners. Stefan, will it be me going through results or Martin and Akil?
This is Tencent Cloud today. We simplify complex technology and open up boundless frontiers. We build big accomplishments from little things, support discretionary access to existing networks, and inject new momentum into business growth. Let Tencent Cloud be your partner. Shape a more flexible, efficient, and refined business landscape. This is where it all begins. Simplicity from complexity. The details of greatness. Tencent Cloud.
So we left you in that 2,000 meters for the PR1, PR3 and PR3-II categories for the women. Well, the winner of that incredibly dominant performance in the women's PR1 category was Silvia Piles-Stepart, who absolutely dominated the field there. The results you can just see going up on the board. In the women's PR3 category, it was a win for the Italian Ludovica Tramontin, who you can see there, sorry, that's the PR1 women up on the screen. That great win, over a minute for Silvia Piles-Stepart, the German. In the women's PR3 category, it was a win for the Italian Ludwika Tramontin, winning out ahead of Valentina Zagot, and in bronze medal position, Claire-Marie Janicki. And of course, these are all the unofficial results. They'll be confirmed later in the day. And it was Bronte Marshall in the PR3 intellectually impaired II category for women that won out and won that gold medal. So after that short break, we'll be now moving into the team tests. And that's the first time we'll see the teams competing. And taking us through those teams races, again, it's going to be Martin Cross and Akil Abdullah. Now, Martin, talk us through what we're going to expect here and how this team race works.
Yeah, so this team race it works over a distance of 3 minutes, and in effect, the 4 team members will have their average score over that 3 minutes. It's quite close to 1,000 meters, basically. Some of the athletes in this event have posted scores in qualification of about 900 meters. Some of them over 1,000 meters, but we'll only see one boat for each team, and that will be the average score for the 4 athletes. So obviously the athletes are going as hard as possible to try and get their team score down. So we've got 4 athletes in each team for stop rowing sign for Uganda: Wengo Jeffrey Chan, Jacko Odang, Boniface Okello, and Johnson Mwaka. It's great to see Ugandans. They've all got averages of around about 900 meters. The mighty Finns with Joel Nakarainen, the 28-year-old, 1,075 meters he pulled. That is the highest average score of anyone. I don't know who's going to compete with this Finnish team, Akil.
Yeah, this is it'll be this for me. This is my first team test, so I'm excited to watch this this event as well. And it's great to see, like the teams that we have here. To see teams, to see Uganda, to see Iraq, and competing here with Finland and France. Once again, I love seeing rowing all over the world, and I really like how indoor rowing really brings that to
So,
to
to give you a bit more of a flavour of what to expect with the team test, we've got a little pre-recorded video to show you all of the action to expect in the next few minutes.
The team test is a max effort 3-minute row performed in teams of 4. The 4 rowers will row together at the same time on their own rowing machines, each for 3 minutes, and it is the best team average that wins the event. We have 3 different events in the team test. We have a men's team, a women's team, and a mixed team with 2 men and 2 women on the team. Time Team, a company based in the Netherlands, is providing the race software for the World Rowing Virtual Indoor Championships. With the team test, they've been able to average the team splits in real time. So during the race, you will see one boat on the boat tracker showing the average speed of the team. Team events have been a part of indoor rowing competitions for many years. We created this race format to give teams the chance to compete together but from different places, and this makes it a truly virtual event. It's been really great to see some of the online indoor rowing communities create teams together, and some of them have never even met in person.
That's crazy. Some of them haven't even met in person, and yet they're in the same team. I can't get my head around that.
Well, it's like showing up to a regatta and hopping into a boat with a bunch of people that you don't know. But it's pretty amazing that the athletes will be doing that. That's wild.
So it looks like we're underway in the team test for men up there. I'm just looking at the race tracker that you can see, and it's the Egyptian Rowing Federation ahead of Finland. That's quite a surprise. I would have thought the Finns would take it out quite early on in that race, but apparently not.
Yeah, it looks like here we go. We have a look at the Ugandan team.
Oh, isn't it great to see the Ugandan team race? It's absolutely stoked to see that.
The thing about it is, and they have athletes from a bunch of different other sports. They have someone from Taekwondo. They have track and field athletes. And it's just amazing to watch. Here we go. Here's a look at Finland.
Yeah, the Finnish team, look at that, 126 to the Egyptians 129. They're only 2 meters behind, and it's coming up right to the line. What have we got? We're looking for about 1,000 meters average, and the averages are pretty similar between the Egyptian Rowing Federation and Finland. That to me, that's quite surprising, because I think the Egyptian Federation, well, they were 1,000, just about 1,040 meter average. I think they didn't have a higher score as Nakarainen, but their average is quite close to the Finland team. So what an amazing pull for those two teams. Egypt still out in front. This is going to go right down to the wire.
1 meter separating them right now.
So
this is it right here.
We've got Germany, that title, I don't know what that means. No rowing for old men in 3rd place. Just a 6 meter lead over the French from Gravelines Aviron. And Finland have just gone through. Did they take the lead? 1,004. Oh, is that a tie?
Wow.
That is sensational.
That is amazing.
A tie between the Egyptian Rowing Federation and Finland, which is kind of unofficial, isn't it?
Yeah,
because we saw that distance, 1,048 meters.
Yeah, I always get a little bit of trauma when I see photo finishes. I've had a bunch of them in my lifetime. So, the waiting kills you to try to see who actually won that one.
I wonder if we can split them, a bit like they did in the 2016 Olympics between Mahe Drysdale and Damir Martin, if it comes down to a thousandth of a second. But Concept 2 don't do that, those sort of hundredths of a second margin, do they? So maybe that's going to be a shared gold medal, which is going to be a fantastic thing for the Egyptian Rowing Federation. Held off the charge from Finland at the end of that race. And the Egyptian Rowing Federation should just give them a name check, because we've got Albana, Hassan, El Shawi, and Mohammed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Average age between 33 and, well, Mohammed is just 20 years of age.
Well, that's a huge finish there, over 3 minutes and over an average of 4 different people to get a tie for the gold medal. And provisionally, that is what we're hearing. It is a tie. They were completely even on split times, down to the 0.10 of a second. They recorded identical meterage. That will indeed be a tie between the Egyptian Rowing Federation and Finland. What a start to our team competition here at the 2022 World Rowing Virtual Indoor Championships. And actually, one of the things that I was really interested to see was the different environments they were all rowing in. Some of them all together, the French in Gravelines, and then the Finns, the Finnish team, all racing separately in their own houses and their own places. So we've got the unofficial results now to bring you from that previous race, and you'll see in just a second how close that was at the top. 1,048 meters, completely and utterly tied for that gold medal. It was then no rowing for old men from Germany that take the bronze medal. But what a finish there. And that was a huge comeback from Finland, and to rally in lots of different places. As I say, they weren't all rowing in the same room. That was quite something. So I wonder if we'll see the same in the next race, and just as much excitement to come, I'm sure, in the women's team race, Akil.
Yeah, I hope we do. I mean, that was exciting stuff. Feather in the cap for the Egyptian team. Looks like we've gotten the stop rowing, sign for the women's team test here, and we'll see how it goes with the Warrior Fitness. I love the British Army. I mean, there's some great names here.
Yeah, roundabout sort of 850 meters, some of the best scores in this for the USA and the British Army, the German team. Round about similar from Mannheim, Karlsruhe. Mannheim, the site of quite an important European regatta in years gone by. And the Finland team, very powerful there. So we're off, Akil, and it looks like an early lead for the powerful Finns. Their team really driving off at the moment with Patoya, Garasan, Heike, and Neubauer.
Yeah, that's but they're really tight there with Finland and GB there, the British Army.
Yeah, this is a fantastic race, isn't it? As we go through that first 140 meters, you can see the splits, can't you? 142 for the British Army.
There they've
just ahead of Finland's 143. And I think is that the British Army all rowing together in that one, Jim?
It looks like that is. And I think it'll be interesting to see if there's some motivation there. They're all there together as a team, pulling, seeing what's going on the leaderboard there. And it's really close, 1 meter separating them. Here we go.
There's the British Army in
British
their
Army,
colours
yeah.
there. They look like they're perhaps in different locations.
Oh.
The British Army women. Let's give a name check to the British Army women. Rosanna Crabb, LaHaye, Helen Bridgman, Louisa Maxwell, and Adele Tudor, ranging between 21 and 36 years of age, out in front at the moment. And those 4 women have a 2 meter. Oh no, Finland has just taken the lead, Akil, when I was talking.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we were talking about. Will we see this team test? You know, with the averaging of the splits, one athlete decides I'm going to drop the hammer, and then a lot can change.
Yeah.
But it looks like Finland is really starting to inch out a little bit there, holding their splits down, 144 average. British Army's 146. We'll see if there's any changes there.
The British Army's aiming for 860 metres, and the Finnish team is aiming for 880 metres. So that should be the difference between the 2 teams. We're nearly through that 800 metres. Well, we've got a few seconds left to go. You can see the clock counting down, 20 seconds, and it looks like Finland ahead of the British Army, and the German from Mannheim Karlsruhe in 3rd place there. They are just accelerating. They're all in the gym together. They're going mad, Akil. Look at that pullback at the finish. That is amazing. Team Awesome there in 4th place.
There you go.
Well,
that great feeling of being done, recovering, finally being able to take a breath. You know, you really have that fire in your legs at that point. All of the lactic acid buildup. It's just it's an amazing place to be able to put your body in that amount of pain.
I know, and to do it as a team as well. So the team from Finland, Sonja Peltola, Anni Kurisainen, Anna Heikkilä, and Hannah Neubauer, aiming for 880 metres. The 4 women ranging between 29 and 41 years of age.
Yeah.
Neubauer, yeah. So 143.6 average, 868 meters. They didn't quite get the 880 meters. That was a little bit beyond them, the team from Finland, but they qualified with a score of around about 860 meters, a little bit beyond that in this competition. 868 meters, British Army in 2nd place, and Mannheim Karlsruhe looks like in 3rd place.
There we go. There's a nice graphic of the Finnish team there.
That looks fantastic, doesn't it?
Yeah.
With that flag in the background.
Sitting ready. Great form.
Well, I think the teams racing is where it's at. And we've got a little bit more to look forward to tomorrow, haven't we? Because we've got the mixed teams. But just before we dive into the next race, which will be our first batch of 500 meters, we're going to bring you an update from social media. These are all the great posts that you've been sending in to us here at World Rowing. How fantastic to see the Finnish rowing team there that we've just seen in competition. But remember to keep tagging us in all of your race photos, videos. Tell us that you're watching. Send us in your comments on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook using the hashtags #indoor rowing, #world rowing indoor, and #world rowing, #WRICH. And so, yep,
Some lovely pictures from Uganda there.
Isn't it fantastic?
Yeah. Oh, look at this outside. That's where I'd like to put my erg when I'm frustrated with it.
Yeah, Okay, so we are looking at these social media pictures, and you can see the Finn flag there proudly in the background, and the 4 athletes from the Finnish team
That is
that
the
took that
feeling right there
title.
when you look down and you see you're done and the legs are shaking and the body's just said, "What have you done to me?"
Wow, that looks like a German athlete there. I can't quite see her name, but a real great view of the city in the background. I like to think that's Hamburg, but I'm not sure actually.
What are these
Maybe it's
guys?
somewhere down the road.
These guys are all smiles. They're not pulling.
When's the last time you smiled on the rowing ergometer, Akil?
It hasn't been any recent times. I was posing for a picture, so that was it.
Yeah, and that great shot of the Ugandan team and their Concept 2 rowing ergometers. It really is amazing how indoor rowing has made its way round the whole breadth of the world and depth of the world. That everywhere we've got these rowing machines, and we can have virtual competitions like this, the World Indoor Virtual Rowing Championships of 2022.
Yeah, and it's
So,
really I think a testament to the fact that the rowing machine is so accessible. It's anyone can get one, and you just jump right on and start pulling. You work on your form, your technique, and next thing you know, you're at the World Rowing Virtual Indoor Championships.
yeah, I had a look at. I didn't really think of entering, but I had a look at some of the scores. That athletes can pull in terms of my category, and I thought, no, thank you. I'm nowhere near those scores, so I'm definitely not entering.
Well, I think that the Germans had it right. No rowing for old men. I put myself in that category too.
You're not old, Akil. That's the thing. Really amazing to see. We have got some races coming up next for the women's under 19 500-meter race, I think. So we move into these big power categories, which is going to be so exciting. And we go through the age categories.
Yeah, and
Building up.
you really don't want to blink in these races because these 500-meter races are short.
Yeah, we've got a lot more sort of short, sharp 500-meter races to look forward to. It's going to be a fast and furious afternoon. And we've got the first of those coming up in just a second, just a few minutes. And we're going to have a slight change to the lineup that we've got competing. And just one note to say that we will be missing the Ukrainian athlete Dasha Kushavska from this next women's under 19 500-meter race. Now, World Rowing considers the safety of all of our athletes to be extremely important, and in consideration of the recent situation in Ukraine, World Rowing have now published a statement on worldrowing.com and on the event live blog. So take a look at that to see what we will be doing regarding this situation. Martin and Akil, over to you to talk us through the lineup for this under 19 women's 500 meters.
Yeah. So the times are going to be around about, I think we've just got a 1:17 from not 1:17, 1:34 from the Estonian. I think that would be one of the men's time from the Estonian athlete. And range of different ages you can see from 16 through to 18 years of age. There's one 14-year-old athlete, Danielle Kashula from Zimbabwe, and she can pull a 1:37 in qualifying.
Yeah, I mean these are going to be some interesting races to watch here. As you know, a minute and 40, minute 37. Really good pace to set. And 14 years old, 137. That's pretty powerful stuff. But Daniela is highly decorated for her age.
Yeah, amazing. So we haven't seen a stop sign. I don't know if you've seen a stop sign when I've not been looking.
No.
So these athletes will shortly be underway. Number one, the Thai athlete K1 qualified with a 140.4, and slightly quicker than the second athlete, Sidley Huber, who qualified with a 142.3. And that's pretty similar to the Indian athlete Pal, who is in position number 3. About a minute to go to the start of this race, we're hearing.
Yeah, and I think that we'll see. It'll be interesting to see what sort of clusters form. You know, we have athletes, at least from their qualifying times, some that are in that 134, 137 range. There's other athletes that are in that 134, 137 to 140 range. So it'll be, you know, as I said, the 500-meter race is short race. You got to go out fast, and you don't really have time to settle in.
You can blow up in 500 meters, though, can't you, Akil?
Yeah, pretty much the first one I did, I exploded.
So just a moment whilst we're waiting for the start of this next under 19 500-meter race, just a reminder that we will be missing one of the athletes from the lineup here, Dasha Kushavska of Ukraine. And that is because World Rowing is considering athlete safety to be hugely paramount. And with the consideration of the developing situation in Ukraine, we've published a statement on www.worldrowing.com and on the Event Live blog. Please take a look at that, and it will explain exactly what we're doing regarding that. So just bear that in mind as we launch back into this race. And Martin, it must be tense moments waiting on the start whilst all the sort of technology gets itself working and up to speed, and just having to sit there and stare at the screen must be paralyzing.
Well, there's a stop rowing sign. I think the athletes are just keeping moving on their machines, and we can see there the stop rowing sign to get the athletes ready. And I think that tension is sort of, you know, taken away a little bit by paddling a few strokes, keeping loose.
Yeah, I'd always do, you know, stretch out the legs, stretch out the arms, you know, put that flywheel down. Let the flywheel stop spinning. Up, here we go.
And we have a start from all the athletes, and that's the Estonian athlete out in front, Doris Maibek. And leaders change now. Is that the Zimbabwe athlete?
We've got Zimbabwe out there. Look at that, the 14-year-old taking command of the race.
That is sensational, isn't it? Absolutely amazing. She is now 11 meters pulling. Can you believe that? I can't believe
this is absolutely stunning. Like, this is this is.
I mean,
amazing.
I have got 14 on my notes for Danielle Kishula, the Zimbabwe athlete. So I'm not sort of making this up. That she's.
Yeah, I had to double check that. You made me doubt it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is incredible stuff. There's less than 200 meters left in the race. She's got 16 meters out on her closest competitor from Estonia, Doris Maibek.
She's got to stop rowing, or we've lost the signal, or something's happened to the Zimbabwe athlete. Perhaps she's blown up.
Yeah, there you go. So now it's Estonia that's in the lead. We have Doris Maibek there, and she's taking quite a command there. Not much time left.
Yeah, we're nearly coming up to the finish line. 134s from Doris Maibek, 136. A handy little average, 132.7 from the Estonian athlete there. She's only 17 years of age.
Yeah.
Qualified with a 134 coming into this competition. So she's gone under that with 132.7.
Yeah, and it's to see that top group that we have some scores that are below the qualifying time. So these athletes really held nothing back in this race.
No, they didn't. And two Tunisian athletes in silver and bronze medal position. And it's interesting that, North African athletes, Egyptian athletes, Mayam Ahmed coming in fourth place too. Great to see that geographical spread for this women's under 19 500 meters at the 2022 World Indoor Rowing Championships, virtual championships, powered by Concept 2 and with our presenting sponsor Tencent Cloud. So we'll get confirmation of those results very shortly.
Yeah, we should have confirmation of all of those results after a short commercial break from some of the partners supporting the 2022 World Rowing Virtual Indoor Championships.
This is Tencent Cloud today. We simplify complex technologies and open up boundless frontiers. We build big accomplishments from little things, support discretionary access to existing networks, and inject new momentum into business growth. Let Tencent Cloud be your partner. Shape a more flexible, efficient, and refined business landscape. This is where it all begins. Simplicity from complexity. The details of greatness. Tencent Cloud.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm very excited for the 2023 championships that are going to be held over in Canada, and a short advert for those there. But we're going to be jumping into the next race shortly. Actually, more 500-meter fun coming up with the under 19 men this time, and I'm just amazed. All of these under 19s athletes, they're so strong and vying to be the best in the world here, Akil.
Yeah, I'm looking to see what type of splits we see from Estonia's Rainier Oras. There are some great athletes here. We also have the athlete from Latvia, Aurelis. And so, this is just, we've got to stop rowing here. So we'll see if we'll get started soon. I'm excited. I love the excitement around the 500-meter race. It happens so fast.
Yeah, and the Finnish athlete with a 117 in qualifying, Akil.
Oh, yeah.
That's, sensational, 18 years of age.
And we're off.
So look at some of those splits. 114 from the Latvian athletes and 114 from the Egyptian athletes. But it's Josh Dutoit from South Africa with 115 splits in the lead at the moment. And the Finnish athlete Artur Hakkinen is, he's only 4 meters down. If he pulled a 117, he's surely going to come through. But Josh Dutoit, where's he got that power from? I just don't know. His qualification time was 121, so he's gone out so quick.
It'll be interesting to see up, and there he goes. As you say, this race is fast, and you can explode at any moment. So it looks like we're having a change here.
Yeah, Harkonnen is coming through, isn't he? That 117 he pulled in qualifying. He's down on the split at the moment,
there he
and
is,
he's
in
taken the
place.
lead. Absolutely, that was an exciting first 250 meters. Paul Emil Schultz from Germany in second place. Edward Baker from the UK has come up. He's only 2 meters behind a silver medal position. 117, 118, 118.3.5. Wow, that was over so quickly, wasn't it, Akil? There's Schultz.
Yeah,
getting his breath back.
That was pretty amazing watching Edward Baker come up through the ranks at the end. They're really pull through. Schultz make a move, and Harkonnen just really displayed some power at the end of that race there.
Yeah, you just wondered, didn't you, the way they blasted off, they could get the score down, but Harkonnen could just hold those 117 splits, and you just saw his boat just edge through, and take the lead just with about 150, 200 meters left to go.
Yeah, and that's about it. Like there's really no time to settle in this race. It's the primary difference from the 1,000 meter or 2,000 meter race is that this is a full-on sprint.
In silver medal position, and Edward Baker with that great sprint to pick up a bronze medal. These, of course, unofficial results. We will be confirming the results throughout the day. But wow, so many positions chopping and changing. And after only a minute or so, barely any time whatsoever for those positions to sort of chop and change. Now, we are being partnered here by Concept2. They're making all of this happen. And we managed to catch up with Dick and Peter Dreisacker, who are going to talk about what indoor rowing is all about.
Yeah, for anyone who hasn't seen the first rowing machines that we made, they were made with standard parts, with bicycle parts, things that we just cobbled together and make something that would work. The rowing community was so ready for something that was a training machine that was really affordable, that they could get on, that they could get enough of these machines together to have a competition. I mean, the rowing community is what made it work.
I guess in the back of our minds, we always felt that indoor rowing could someday take its rightful place along with indoor, stationary bikes and treadmills as sort of the mainstay of indoor cardiovascular fitness.
It's something we've been trying to promote to as many people as possible, trying to build that base of people who embrace rowing, and we felt like we were the only ones out there trying to push it. And now there's some real momentum, and we're seeing the numbers of people who embrace rowing as an activity just skyrocketing.
It's really full body. You get full movement of all your limbs and whatnot, and it just makes you feel good after you row.
So those machines are the ones that we're using for all of this competition here, and we're building up through the age groups. Now it's going to be the under 23 lightweight women. Take it away, Martin.
Yeah, these women have got the stop rowing side in front of them, and I guess we're looking for around about 142, 143 for the 500 meter time, Akil.
Yeah, I think we have a couple of splits that might be a little bit lower, but maybe a 141. I'm looking to see if anyone really steps on the gas and really pushes that split down.
So these female athletes, I think they're weighing in at something like 59 kilos for this competition. They've all had to weigh in at that weight to qualify, and that's what they had to do to get into these championships.
Have you ever tried lightweight rowing, Martin?
Ho, ho, ho. No, I haven't, and that's, I think, you do hear of a lot of stories, don't you? I mean, with some of the female lightweight athletes, it's tough, isn't it, to stay on weight? And I guess some of these under 23s might find it maybe a little easier. We've got an average age range from 16 for the Australian Victoria Binns to 21 years of age for the Algerian and Tunisian athletes.
Yeah, and once again, I'm looking to see if we see another strong showing from North Africa. We have Zamila Sarr from Tunisia with a 141 qualification score. So
wow, she might.
I think I would say I think we might see we may see under 140.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting. I mean, we'll certainly see under 140 but as they power off in the first few meters of this race. So look for those splits on the right-hand side of your monitor.
Yeah. And here we go. Zamila's got a bit of an axe to grind. She was second last year.
Wow. And there we see the splits as the athletes drive off in the first part of this race. Just the German athlete, it looks, is leading this race at the moment. German athlete, just 18 years of age, Tabla Wieland, qualified with a 143.
And there we go. Oh, a little bit of, once again, we got Algeria's Nihad.
They've got to drop those splits. I mean, it's 133 for Ben Shaldi, the Algerian, 3 meters ahead of the Tunisian. You called it, Akil, with the North African athletes.
We have seen a strong. I mean, it's been we've had some races this morning, and we've seen a very strong showing. So
the Algerian athlete is still on 137s. That is sensational, isn't it? What an amazing split. She pulled 142 to qualify, so she's way ahead of that at the moment.
Now this will be the interesting part. There's the race is coming down to its last 100 meters. The lactic acid is built up in your muscles right now, and you're really battling to hold on. So we'll see what happens here. The first and second place have a bit of a lead so we'll see how it goes.
Sarah coming back. She's coming right back, just 2 meters. Oh, she just won't quite do it. Very close, just 0.4 of a second. Tabla Wieland just holds off Zoe Dixon from Denmark for that third place, that bronze medal at the 2022 World Indoor Rowing Virtual Championships.
Oh man, that's got to be a bit of a heartbreaker for Sarah. She, second place last year, so close this year, and just didn't quite get through. But it's got to be uplifting that coming in with that 138, that 137.
She nearly did it as well. She was really coming back with those splits, right in the last 100 meters, didn't quite have enough left in the tank to get through.
Yeah, it's really hard to calculate too. Sometimes you want to hold a little bit back and your competitor's out just a little bit on you, and you think like, all right, this is it. And really gauging when you empty the tank can be hard.
Yeah, it is. So that's the lightweight under 23 women. We'll get those results confirmed, or at least unofficially confirmed. I think, can you say unofficially confirmed?
Only unofficially.
Yeah. So 20 years of age, Nihed Ben Chaldi from Algeria. And she is the champion of Africa. Not surprised with a split like that for lightweights.
And hopefully we'll be seeing some messages coming in from all of those athletes that we've seen competing so far this morning. But we've had many more messages on all of our social platforms, and we'll bring you a little bit of an insight into what we've been receiving, whether that's been pictures, comments, messages. It seems that everyone around the world really enjoying participating here at the championship. So this one here from Jeffrey Wolf, excited to have qualified and be competing. And yeah, 66 countries, we've mentioned that this morning already. It is the championship event of the year. And of course, if you're interested, remember that there's always your own country's championships to get involved with. This is the British Rowing Indoor Championships that we'll be seeing happening later on this year. And we're actually closing in on the next race already. It's going so quickly this morning. And of course, fast and furious, 500 meters. We wouldn't expect anything less. So we're from lightweight women now to under 23 lightweight men. Over to you, Akil.
Yeah, and so this is once again, I think it's lining up to be a pretty exciting race. You know, Mart, what are your predictions for this race?
It's going to be really interesting. I'm fascinated to see if any of these lightweights can get under 120. I know that's a big ask. You know, I think they went close in qualifying.
Yeah.
I think one of the Chinese athletes who qualified isn't here racing. But, you know, how close they can get to that 120 mark for me is going to be really interesting. These guys have all had to weigh in at 72.5 kilos to compete in this under 23 event. We're just waiting for the Tunisian athlete to stop rowing when we can have a clear start.
Yeah, and I'm really to see. I think that it'll be interesting to see what Simone Alberto Royer can do from Italy. You know, if he can inch it down towards that 120 mark. I think his qualifying time was 124.
Yeah, 124, World Indoor Rowing Championship finalist in 2021, Italian champion of 2020.
Had a bit of a false start there.
Yeah, just explain what happens with a false start, Akil.
What was that?
I was going to say, just explain what happens with a false start.
Yeah. So all of the athletes are sitting ready. Their flywheels have stopped, and they're ready to see the words "attention," "ready," and "row." And so when you have a false start, what happens is an athlete has jumped the gun and started rowing before the official start of the race.
Yeah, it's our first full start of the 2022 World Indoor Virtual Rowing Championships.
Now, it's interesting the difference here between the indoor rowing and actually racing, because now they have devices to hold your boats in place, so that there's a far fewer false starts than the day when boats were floating this way and that on the course.
I know. Yeah, those Perspex boots or shoes that I think you still can have a false start if you go. There was an occasion, I think it was at the European Championships, where the plastic boots and shoes didn't go down, and the kind of boats just rode up on top of them, and they were just sat there, and some of them were damaged.
Oh man. Well, luckily the C2s can't row up on any furniture in your house unless you put it there. So.
Well, these things happen in live sports. We get these false starts, and here on the ergometer, even the slightest bit of movement can cause that false start, like you were saying, and it's amazing we don't get more. I think, given the amount of athletes we've got competing. So we've got a bit of a delay still, just refreshing after that false start. And Martin, coming to you actually, you have to let the ergo settle, don't you? We talked earlier about the fans and the flywheels having to settle back down, but for those people who have never been part of rowing before and don't understand what that means, can you talk us through what happens there?
Yeah, well, the flywheel has got some momentum which the athletes will use when they're warming up, and basically, I'm not sure if the flywheel will absolutely stop dead. You have to zero your machine by pressing the button, and these athletes you can see are just loosening up ahead of this 500-meter race. So I'm not sure if the flywheel absolutely stops dead or has got a little bit of momentum on it. I'm not sure if the Concept 2 can measure that. Perhaps Akil might know that one.
Yeah, I do not have that information, but what I do know is that if the same athlete gets a second false start, then they are excluded from the race. So it's if you get one false start, you say, okay, it can impact your race because now you're waiting to make sure that you definitely don't start before. And here we go. Looks like we're settling in, getting ready to race. That's it. We're off.
Yeah. Great start. The Tunisian Kadri a little bit behind on that start, but it's Simone Alberto Rowley, and he's down under 120s, pulling 119s. He's in the lead at the moment, Akil.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about. We were really hoping to see if these athletes would be able to go under 120, and I'm not sure we'll see it, but I thought that if anyone could do it, Simone would.
There's Kadri, and he just had a little unfortunate. It's quite a short stroke that Kadri's pulling at the moment.
Really, it's interesting to see. He's not really taking full advantage of the whole slide there, but it does seem to be putting quite a bit on it at that with the technique that he is using.
Jajda there, back in 6th place from Poland. Again, very high rating, just using about, 2/3 of his slide. Be interesting to get a look. The Egyptians just overhauled, Magub has just overhauled Alberto Roll from Italy and has now got a 4-meter lead coming into the finish.
That's it. It doesn't look like 125. He's really putting it down now.
Yeah, the Egyptian has just had a fantastic move in the last part of that race. Adham Magub has come through to take that race. Interesting technique. I mean, would you say you've got to use the whole slide?
Well, that's
in this 500-meter sprint.
Yeah, that's the tough part about the 500-meter sprint is that you really want to be able to get that rating up and as many strokes in as possible. It's kind of each athlete is different, and I was surprised actually to see as many athletes rowing sort of shorter slide, not using the full length of the track there.
So he's in silver medal position, being congratulated by his coach or his trainer. There's Gurpreet Shah, who is the Indian athlete, came in 10th place, 133 average. So we got close to 120, didn't we? Magub in 122.6, the best of that bunch.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting to see. 122 qualified with 124, but definitely hit the target time that I think he was looking to hit. And as you say, I think the interesting thing is these athletes all had to make weight.
Yeah, absolutely.
So again, I'm just always surprised by the amount of chopping and changing that we get with the 500 meters, right? They could barely get a minute and a half. And speaking of short time, we're already underway with the next race, the under 23 women, Akil.
Yeah, and they are off to a furious start here. We have, we'll see shortly here we go. We have Denmark in the lead by about 7 meters, really pushing hard.
Yeah, the 20-year-old Dane qualified for this regatta with a 131.5 is out in front by a margin of 10 meters. That is a sensational margin at this early stage of the race. At 129, the nearest competitor is pulling 134.
Yeah, and we'll see. I was wondering if she would be able to hold that sub 130 pace for the entire race. It looks like she's up at about 130 now. We'll see what happens in these last 200 meters if she can pull it back down.
Look how high she's pulling the handle, Hansen. Really getting that shoot towards the finish, isn't she?
A lot of layback there in that stroke. You can really see it.
Hansen qualified for this regatta with a 131.5, so she's right on course. Just 133. She went off so quickly.
Yeah, and now you can see this is where, she had enough there, though, almost.
So she's gone quicker than qualifying. Nearly got close to that 130 mark. 134 from Estonia, 135 from the Pole, Julia Stipin. This women's under 23 500-meter race. Polish athlete, one of the oldest in the race at 22.
Yeah, there you go. A little bit of a hug there. Great work. The teammates there, coaching, fans.
It's all happening fast and furious, isn't it, Akil?
Yeah, that's what the 500 meter is about. It's about just getting in there, pulling as hard as you can for as long as you can. And I'm actually surprised that we haven't seen more athletes sort of overestimate their ability to hold on to some of these ratings and some of these splits.
Was a huge smile on the face of Hansen when she won that with her coach behind her. That was the best part of that race for me. It was then Lan of Estonia, followed by Stefian of Poland, and then the following results, unofficial results in that under 23 women's 500 meters. So we take a pause and take a deep breath in from all of that action that we've seen already. And to take us through that nice pause, we've got some messages from our commercial partners.
This is Tencent Cloud today. We simplify complex technology and open up boundless frontiers. We build big accomplishments from little things, support discretionary access to existing networks, and inject new momentum into business growth. Let Tencent Cloud be your partner. Shape a more flexible, efficient, and refined business landscape, And this is where it all begins. Simplicity from complexity, the details of greatness. Tencent Cloud.
Yeah, it'll be so we've got this men's under 23 race coming up, and I'm interested to see if Victor Osmal can go under 115.
You're joking. 115.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that was the qualification score. And a target time of 114. Here we can see the athletes warming up and getting ready.
The
Nice.
Estonian athlete Leo Musti had a 116.4 in qualifying, just 20 years of age.
Yeah.
For him.
And I mean, these are some very impressive scores. So
it's interesting to see that the Dane is a kayaker and he does the indoor rowing machine mostly for fun. But I don't know what sort of fun, what he calls fun.
Yeah. Yeah, for fun. This is amazing. This reminds me of my first time doing 500 meters on the erg, and I think I miscalculated and blew up at about 200 meters to go.
So we've got the stop rowing sign up on my race tracker. Yeah, we're off, and you can see the athletes driving there. And it's the Dane.
We've seen lots of 114s, 113s.
1.9, the Dane's pulling. 1.9, 1.10 as he goes through the first 100 meters. That is insane. He's still on 1.11. Victor Gary Asmil, the canoeist.
Yeah,
massively. You ought to try rowing.
And we can see here different techniques, a little bit more use of the slide here.
Very upright body that rower has got.
Yeah.
I can see there. Yeah, that's a fantastic move at the moment.
Yes.
Victor Gary Asmil is still 7 meters out in front from the Estonian. They're both pulling 117s as they come into the last 100.
And it looks like we've got the top three are really holding on. 119 splits, 120, all of them moving, really trying to hold on there. We can see in third place Ukraine and Germany.
Zakharov from the Ukraine. Great to see the Ukrainian athlete here shorten up as he comes to the finish. We'll have a bronze medal. What a fantastic thing that was to see the Ukrainian athlete Artem Zakharov come through for the bronze medal. 116.8, just snatching that bronze medal by 1/10 of a second from David Sebastian Keffer.
And there you go, 114. Wow, that's pretty fast.
I don't think I've ever seen 114.
Well, you just saw it. You just saw it.
The Estonian went under the 116.4 he did in qualifying to pull a 115.7. It wasn't quite enough. 1.2 seconds ahead of the Dane, Victor Gary Asmil. And wow, what a finish that.
Yeah, so you absolutely called it, Akil. We wanted to see under that 115 and a win there for Asmol of Denmark. The Danes having a great championships at the moment. We've seen a few gold medals for them so far, but 114.5, amazing stuff. And we're going to be moving on soon to our non-age category races, and we're going to say goodbye to Akil Abdullah. What a fantastic you had with us, your debut commentary session here for World Rowing. Any closing thoughts, Akil, at all?
Yeah, I just want to say this has been an amazing event so far. I'm actually keen to continue to watch, and I just love that we're seeing so much so many different people from all over the world participating in indoor rowing. It's really showing how the sport is growing, and there's so many opportunities for even more growth.
Well, Akil, we'll see you back tomorrow. Remember, we're live again tomorrow. We'll be welcoming you back on the Saturday of the 2022 World Rowing Virtual Indoor Championships. And as we say goodbye to Akil, we say hello to Shane Farmer, who is back once again to take us through the racing. Shane, excited to be back.
I'm thrilled to be here, Camilla. Martin, great to be sitting across from you. I am so happy to be back with you guys. Thanks for having me back, and I'm excited to be jumping back into 500s today. What a way to get started.
Yeah. Looks dark where you are, Shane.
Yeah, it is the middle of the night here, but those are the sacrifices that we make to make sure that you guys get great racing experiences.
Yeah, it goes to show not just a global event when it comes to the athletes, but also to the commentary team as well. We're based all over the world, and fantastic of Shane to get up in the middle of the night to take us through the sort of build to our open men's and women's 500 meters, what we assume to be and probably will be the fastest of the day. But just before we jump into the next race, a quick reminder that, of course, you can keep contacting us on social media. The other thing to remember is we've got World Rowing merchandise for this event. So whichever country you're rowing in, wherever you're participating, remember you can have access to our event merchandise site from one of our World Rowing licensees. It's a special memento you can take away. And we even are producing T-shirts that have the athletes' names on and featuring all the names of those that entered the championship. So all of our products are produced exclusively for World Rowing and can be purchased on our website at www.worldrowing.com/store. So take yourself over there and buy yourself a little bit of World Rowing memory from this event. But a few minutes to go still until our next race, which will be the lightweight women's event. And we saw the under 23 lightweights earlier, Martin. What do you think will be the step on here in the open side?
Well, sometimes there isn't a step on. Sometimes you see an under 23 athlete that can really pull a great split, but I kind of think that some of these athletes, the open athletes, how close will they get to 140? Certainly the Dane in this event, Hansen, has pulled sub 140 in a qualification race, so I think she's got a great chance of taking this category. I can't remember off the top of my head what the under 23 winning time was. Was it something like a 142 or something? So maybe just about 3 or 4 seconds quicker for this open category. These women have to weigh in, I think it's 59 kilos. Is that right, Shane?
That sounds about right to me. And if anybody, you would know better than I, Martin.
Thank you. I'll take that as a vote of confidence.
It looks like we're getting ready to start here. Athletes sitting ready to go. You can see that intensity, that finger wiggle. I always know that I had a finger wiggle sitting before every test. Martin, what about you? Were you just a sit solid kind of guy, or were you
sit solid? I'm a sit solid kind of guy, Shane.
I had the wild fingers getting ready to go as I started to get myself ready for that race.
Vane Sanchez there from Argentina, the other side of the world. Mota from Brazil, the 33-year-old Antonia Emmanuel Abreu Mota.
Athletes have been called to stop rowing. Race should be taking off just here in a moment.
That finger wiggle again we saw from Mota. Wow, they're off.
False start. False start.
Oh, no. Oh, who made that false start?
That
boat number 5, was it?
Boat number 5, the Egyptian.
So is that Huda Mohammed, 25-year-old, came into this contest through the African qualification, obviously at 142.2. And if there is another full start from her, she will have the pain of disqualification. So let's hope that we can have a good start in the next attempt at this lightweight women 500 meter category at
Yeah, we've got a short pause whilst we wrangle all the athletes back to stand still. And while we wait, we've got a short pre-recorded interview from Finland's Sonja Peltola talking about fitness and wellness in relation to indoor rowing.
I used to focus too much earlier in my training, like for this physical fitness, but now I'm trying to find the balance between the social wellness, that I have time for my family, friends, and train and be ambitious in sport. A few years ago, I started my own company, so I go around Finland and teach some basic things with indoor rowing machine. A lot of time goes for social media. I'm starting to be influencer, or I share content about wellness, indoor rowing, CrossFit, and that is my life mostly. I mostly have followers, I think they are mostly CrossFitters. CrossFitters are very interested about this indoor rowing stuff because they hate indoor rowing usually. And they are like, oh, how can you do that so much? And if they have 500-meter row in their gym next week, they come and ask, how should I do that? Can you give me some tips? And I give my own opinions, and yeah. But yeah, they are interested.
Well, great to hear from Sonja there. And actually, Shane, I was thinking a lot of the time that you must have been relating to a lot of the things that Sonja was saying with your own kind of social media and indoor rowing space.
I was indeed smiling and nodding along as she was speaking. It sounds like our audiences are very similar to one another, and it's always great to see another person out there spreading the great word of indoor rowing. And I love the hyper-local element to that she primarily stays around Finland, a place where I've actually coached seminars before. And it's exciting to see that she's carrying the torch there.
Yeah, and we've actually got Sonja jumping on hopefully a little bit later to our Instagram. We're going to do an Instagram live with some of the athletes that we've got competing here today. Kirsten Klein, Phil Clapp, who'll be going in the open women's and men's respectively. I'm sure we'll see some big times from them. But Sonja will also be coming on to chat to us a little bit more about her world of work in influencing and indoor rowing and how that relates to that community. So I'm excited to speak to her then. Just 1 minute now until that delayed race. We had that false start just a moment ago in the lightweight women's race. And Martin, I think I saw a few athletes continuing to row on beyond the false start. Do you think that's going to have tired them out somewhat over such a short, sharp distance?
Well, as we're looking at this lineup here, Camilla, taking a look to the 3 Chinese athletes having been the ones that put in the fastest times in qualification, we're looking at 136, 137s here for the top 3 Chinese athletes in 15, 14, and 9 boats. So if you want to keep your eyes on where we think the lead is going to take off on this, there's a good chance that that's where you should be looking. Athletes are sitting ready now as the race is about to kick off. Call to attention. And here we go. We'll see what kind of starts we get out of the first 100 meters. All boats sitting pretty even right now. No big blast-off starts. And we're starting to shake out. Hu Yongmei, Arafa, and Jinlian starting to hold those first 3 spots. The athlete from Algeria starting to move up, sitting 1 meter behind now in that second place position. 136 is being held here. We'll see if Arafa can hold that. Amina now challenging for that first position. Past that 500, past that 250 meter mark, coming in at 200 left. That's the 1 minute mark on this race. After you pass that 1 minute mark, You start to make an assessment of how much you can hold on to your split, knowing that you've got just a little bit to go. You can see on your screen the two Chinese athletes sitting next to each other. Always helps to have a little bit of extra juice, knowing that person right next to you is pushing. Right now, first, second, third, Egypt, Algeria, and China with Arafa, Amina, and Zhu. There's a big change with 50 meters to go. Somebody's putting on a big kick there, dropping it down to a 140 while the rest are trying to cling on to those mid 140s. Oh, wow. And a change just at the end there by Ten Jinlian, shaking out the top three a little bit differently than what we were seeing through the majority of those races, through the majority of that race. That was an exciting one. I got to say, that was quite fun to watch, especially as those three changes, those three positions changed over and over, especially with the last minute change. That always makes things exciting too.
Wow, Shane, you managed to keep on top of all of that chopping and changing so well by yourself. That was a very keen eye that you had on our leaderboard. And if you're tuning in at home and watching out for your friends, family, we've got plenty of action yet to come, and glad we can bring you all of these results. Keep your eyes on those yellow boats. We've got the results now of that last race. And it was such a close finish. You can see there how close all the times were on the right-hand side. But the winning time from Jaichi Zhu was 138.7 for the gold medal. And all the full results there. And of course, unofficial until we confirm these results a little bit later on. Provisional for now. But what a great start there for the Chinese athletes.
That truly was an exciting one to watch.
Hello, Shane.
Akil, you're back.
I just couldn't get enough. It looks like we're about to see another race here.
Absolutely. We're about to take off into the open women. This is going to be an exciting one.
I'm trying to catch up here, see who's in this race here.
Well, we do have Elena Buriak, the current world record holder, at a 124 in this 500. Is slated to be here in this race. So, I mean, anytime Elena shows up, you know it's going to be an exciting race.
Man, you know, it's truly, I've been in preparation for this. I've been like doing 500s and 2K pieces, and I haven't been going full out. So I'm ready to see what happens here.
Well, it's certainly worth watching. Now that race is off. All the athletes taking off here.
Man, look at that. Look at those ratings there. I mean, in different techniques.
There we go. The shakeout is starting to happen. Akil, it's always that first 100 meters. It looks like it's going to be a dead even race, and then you usually see somebody start to blast off, eh?
Yeah, I mean, and this one's close too. You have people. It looks like there's like not very much separating first and second place here.
Yeah, it all happens so quickly, and as we saw in the last race as well, things can change at any single moment in the race. Bianca Plisano currently sitting in first, holding that 126. I'm not seeing anybody dropping down to a split that looks like they might be able to challenge her for that first place position as she starts to put just a little bit more distance between her and second and third.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is, though, I think 4 meters is not a lot in a 500-meter race. So
truly, it's all about whether you can hold on to that split, because somebody being able to have that extra gear can be devastating to a lead that you might have of only 4 meters.
Yeah, and we just see, I think we're seeing some athletes drop down there, the finish athlete. But as we're coming into the finish here, there we go.
Looks like our winning time came in at 127.3, unofficial, of course. We'll wait for the official numbers on that. But shaking out to Bianca Piloseno, Jade Lally, and Sung Vingzhao sitting in 1, 2, and 3 in that race. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, and maybe we had a fly and die there with the Australian athlete, but you can see that there's pain there. This is not for the faint of heart. 500-meter sprint. Well, and you know that intensity of the actual competition steps up. So is how Bianca Piloseno, her qualifying time came in at a 128.5. She blew that out of the water pretty handily with that. Yeah, 127.3.
So huge scores there, and a win there for Bianca Piloseno of the USA. Now you can see we have 2 silver medalists here for the women's event, and just to kind of explain the reason for this, you can see the big name Elena Buriak, who we didn't have racing live with us, and that's because of the ongoing situation in Ukraine. World Rowing considers athlete safety to be of utmost importance, and given that situation, we put a statement on the WorldRowing.com website and the event live blog to explain why, but we've taken Elena's score from her submission to qualify for this event, and that has put her into silver medal position. But of course, we will be jointly awarding the silver medal with Jade, who finished in the live event in 2nd place as well. So that's the reason for that. You can read the full statement on worldrowing.com, but we're sending our best wishes to Elena. But I'm really pleased to be able to say we've got Martin Cross back in the studio. Martin, great to have you back. And you missed an absolute corker. I bet you're gutted.
I'm gutted, actually. I had a dog malfunction that decided to attack my router.
Well, happy to have you back, Martin.
Yeah, great to be back, because I'm really looking forward to seeing this lightweight men 500 meters and the men's open 500 meters. So I'm glad that the internet was restored from that. I did see some of the racing, and very exciting it looked too.
Yeah, some very exciting racing and more to look forward to. We are by no means done yet, because we've just had the open women, but we'll be moving swiftly on to the lightweight men. Shane, do you want to talk us through the lineup?
Yeah, absolutely. We have some absolutely blistering scores coming in here. We're looking at Sun Man from China with a 119.8 in qualification. I think that's definitely one that's worth paying attention to. Otherwise, we're seeing a lot in the 120s here, the low 122s. Makes for a pretty good shakeout here with one significant standout. We'll see if he's got it in the tanks to be able to hold that with the other athletes stepping up to challenge him today.
Yeah, Chinese athletes, Chen Sen there racing. I'm not sure quite what Chen Sen pulled, 122.7 in his qualification. Do you reckon any of these are going to go close to 120, Shane?
Well, you have a couple athletes who pulled 122 in qualification. I think that with this kind of a competition, they come in knowing that there is somebody with that sub 120 in their qualification time. I think it gives you a little bit of a juice. We'll see if that's enough to drop 2 seconds off your qualifying time in a 500. It's certainly a gamble as to whether or not you're going to try and drop that much of your split.
I was going to say, and in terms of tactics, I mean, are they going to get out to a full length stroke, or are they going to just go 3/4 slide and go for the high rate? I mean, what's the best tactic to get your top 500 meter score?
I mean, it all depends on the athlete. I mean, I've seen Brooke Mooney pull a world record 2K by going the last 750 at 3/4 slide. So anything is, oh, absolutely, anything is possible here. So you never know. Depends on if the athletes are coming from more of a fitness background or for more of a rowing background. It's probably going to change the tactic that they take.
Brooke Mooney, the athlete from the US 8 that finished 4th in Tokyo.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. She. I actually had the pleasure of interviewing her leading up to the Olympics, and yeah, she told us about her 2K race, capturing that record, and it was quite impressive what she pulled off there. It was seemed to be a 1 in a million opportunity with how she cut her slide and was able to maintain it through the end.
I think Igor Kamara there is from the Ukrainian lightweight men's double, if I'm not mistaken. I've not got anything on his biography, but the name is very familiar. It's great to see Igor here competing for the Ukraine in this contest. And wiggle there. He's got his Ukrainian all-in-one racing suit on. So I think Kamara is from that Ukrainian lightweight double. They had quite a successful time, I think, around the Europeans. Was it back in 2016 that they made the final?
Our athletes are sitting ready now. Race about to take off.
Oh.
And a false start by boat 15.
That's the Egyptian, Mohamed Eldasuki. So we're going to take a few moments before the machines can be reset. It's always one of the hazards, I guess, in terms of live sport, where we have a full start and things have to be reset. It's going to take a few moments.
Those jitters can always get you as you're sitting ready for that race and just want to get it over with. You want that opportunity to let loose on the handle.
Completely. You could see, couldn't you? You know, the sort of finger movements. They hadn't quite picked up the handle yet, but it was just that release of tension that the athletes wanted to use.
Martin, how often would you say you see a false start in on-water rowing compared to indoor rowing? Do you think the consequences are greater in on-water, so there's less of a tendency and a little bit more of that, let's really make sure that we nail this start?
That's a great shout, Shane. I think you're right. And we've seen more full starts here than I would have seen in the same time length if it was a World Cup event or a World Championships event. That's for sure.
Yeah, so what does that look like? What does an on-water false start look like? What all takes place after that happens? Here, the athletes just get to put the handle down, and technically we have to rearrange it. But
yeah, I think an on-water full start, I mean, you get the athletes moving off the one that picking up the handle. So very good haul there. Daniel Satch, famous name in British rowing, Satch. I don't think they're related. Igor Kamara we saw crossing himself. Look at that. You can see how wound up he is.
And Igor is one of those ones that has a real shot today. I think he, Martin, you called to that. Who could come down to the 120 from a 122? Igor, I definitely think, is one of those. And today would be a pretty special day for him to be able to do that, I would think. Athletes sitting ready. And we have a clean start.
Wow, look at some of the ratings there. Absolutely through the roof. We've got a very close contest, haven't we, in the first 50 meters? It looks like Daniel Satch from GB is leading out. Oh, Mohamed Cotter from Egypt, Shane.
Daniel Satch now up into first at a 118.
118. Well, he's not going to maintain the 118, I don't think. He's got to stretch it out a little bit. 1 meter ahead of Cotter. Chen Sen from China in third place. The Ukrainian Kamara back in fifth place, but still in contact with the leaders.
Now, thing to keep your eye on are the splits and see what those splits are doing, not necessarily what the boats are doing, because as those splits shift, so too are those positions going to change.
Yeah, we've got 125 meters to go, and it's Egypt's Cotter with the lowest splits at the moment.
Gregor Hall moves up into fourth.
24-year-old.
See if a change between second and third is going to happen here.
Igor Kamara just sort of coming through maybe into fourth place. Just Cotter takes it with 120.7. Chinese comes through into second place. And Daniel Satch, after that fast start, has to settle for third. Igor Kamara back in fifth place.
It looked like there's a bit of a headwind in that race there. splits coming in a little bit slower than the qualification times.
Cotter, just 24 years of age, takes the lightweight men 500 meter race. These athletes weighing in at 72.5 kilos.
Yeah, a great win there. Quite a buffer over 500 meters for Mohammed Kotta of Egypt, the Egyptian Rowing Federation. We saw with that great finish earlier in the team event. They're replicating it here in the individuals. Sen Chen of China in silver medal, tipping Daniel Satcher of Great Britain, the early leader. And those are the early provisional results for our lightweight men's 500 meter event. So whilst we gear up for the open, we've seen the open women, we've now got the open men on the horizon as our next race. We'll be talking through the big stars to watch in that one. But just before we do, we're going to be taking a short break to have a look at some messages from our commercial partners.
This is Tencent Cloud today. We simplify complex technologies and open up boundless frontiers. We build big accomplishments from little things, support discretionary access to existing networks, and inject new momentum into business growth. Let Tencent Cloud be your partner. Shape a more flexible, efficient, and refined business landscape. This is where it all begins. Simplicity from complexity. The details of greatness. Tencent Cloud.
So a short advert there from our cloud partners, Tencent Cloud, who are providing all of the support for our global live streaming and other technology for this event. So only a minute to go until the open men's 500 meters. And Shane, we've got some big names competing in this one.
We absolutely do. And the easy name to call out here is Phil Clapp. We all know Phil Clapp, the world record holder at a 110.5, if I'm not mistaken. His qualifying time for this, a 111.9, which actually was tied by Cameron Warham, Canada, also putting 111.9 for qualifying. So we will see how this shakes out. But I do have to call out, I appreciate Cameron's bio and his quote simply saying, "I'm just here to take my shot at the champion."
The athletes have been told to stop rowing. It's going to be quite a tense race, this, isn't it? There's so much at stake.
We're going to see some fast splits in this. And these guys know how to race.
Oh, full start.
There's another false start.
There's Chris Scott, the 33-year-old, just sat on his machine, taking in a bit of fluid. He knows there'll be a couple of minutes or so to wait before they reset. A lot of the rowers taking the chance just to paddle, aren't they?
And you never know what that false start is going to do to each of them. Each athlete handles that most likely a little differently than the other, whether that gives them a chance to, all right, I got my butterflies out, now I'm ready to restart, or if that shakes them from what they had prepped in their mind.
So Phil Clapp, pretty much in his prime, the world champion, 31 years of age. Still got a few years ahead of him, I think, at the top of the game. I wonder how close he'll get to that world record.
We shall see. I definitely think that there's some opportunities here for athletes to challenge, and knowing that they're up against Phil, who knows what that'll bring when it comes to race time.
I just can't imagine the splits they're pulling, you know, like close to 110, 111. Just sensational scores.
It truly is. And this is one of those events where, looks like our race is back up and ready to go. Athletes are called to attention.
Whoa.
And here we go with the clean start.
And so those splits are going to come right down. 1.9 from Anton Grassil. Phil Clapp pulling 1.7.
108 from Albert Caputo. That was just blistering speeds here.
Through the first 100 meters, it's Phil Clapp from Cameron Wareham, and the USA's Nick Thomas just 5 meters behind Clapp, close for that silver medal place at the moment.
Clapp is hunting. We will see where this goes.
Looks like he's got time at the finish. Nick Thomas there. Look at that rating. He's just going crazy through the roof. That's 40 plus.
There's a 50 on the stroke rate. And keep in mind, these are some big humans that are pulling on these handles. Oh, there's a shift. Cameron Wareham starting to move. 3 meters behind Clapp. 2 meters with 100 meters to go. Is he going to be able to make another move? Let's see if it drops to a 1 meter difference.
Well,
crossing the 50
strokes to go. I think Phil Clapp's got it, Shane.
I think you're right. I think he's going to hold on to it just by a baby's breath. Wow.
That was so close. Warren came right back at him at the finish, didn't he?
Wow, that was absolutely an amazing push by Warren to try and challenge him there.
And
look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, I was worried that Warren was going to put his back through that garage door at a certain point.
43-year-old Slovakian came right through to take bronze medal in that contest. Anton Grassil. Ahmed is there back in 8th place from Pakistan. Yet another nation in this fantastic Indoor World Rowing Championships virtual edition.
You can see our unofficial shakeout there. 1, 2, 3. Phil Clapp, Cameron Wareham, and Anton Grassil.
And there he is, the champion, Phil Clapp, living up to his reputation in this event, the men's 500-meter event. Not quite as quick as his world record on these unofficial results, but a 1:11.6, certainly enough to clinch the gold medal ahead of Cameron Wareham of Canada, who took a really good punch at Phil Clapp. That was so exciting, right down to the last couple of strokes. And Anton Grassil, as Martin mentioned, there coming in for bronze medal. But probably the fastest 500 we'll see today. We could be surprised, but we're going to move from the Open Men through now into the Masters event. And the first Masters event that we've got on the schedule is the Masters Women 30 to 39 and Masters Women's Lightweight 30 to 39. So, Martin, you were saying earlier, Phil Clapp in his prime at 31. It just goes to show we've got age categories here going up all the way into the 90s at the World Rowing Virtual Indoor Championships. It never stops, does it? You can participate in this sport for as long as you want to.
Yeah, well, I think we're going to see people the age of 95 at these World Rowing Championships, and it just shows you that rowing is a sport for the ages. These women in the next category, ranging between 33, 34 years of age, up to the 39 for Nikki Kelly from GBR. Still pretty much in their prime. There's Nicola Goss from New Zealand. We saw the 33-year-old Anya Nordman, that flag from her club. 37 years of age. Nordman has been a coastal rower since 2021, taken part in the World Coastal Rowing Championships. Anja Heikkilä from Finland, qualified with a 1:35. It's one of the quicker times as well. And we've got lightweight women in this category. They've had to weigh in at 59 kilos. How's it looking to you, Shane?
Good. You know, the thing that I'm always impressed by and I really enjoy watching is we see these spin ups or the locations that each of these athletes are in. And I think it truly shows the diversity of indoor rowing and its ability to reach to anywhere and allow anybody to compete. And I think that's what makes this competition so enjoyable and also opens the door to so many, is that they have the opportunity to participate from wherever they are. And it just makes for a really fun event to be able to see all of those different locations.
Funnily enough, I've just had a text from one of the athletes going to be competing tomorrow that I row with at Molesey, Tom Middleton, former international lightweight. He's now in his 40s. He said, to coin a phrase, if anyone sees me trying to make lightweight again, they have my permission to shoot me.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
So as you're watching your leaderboard here during the race, just to keep you attuned to what you're watching, any of the boats that are in red will be your lightweight, and any of the boats in yellow will be at open category. So just to help you assess who's sitting where, because those boats will shake up into different locations, you'll see a mix of red and yellow as the race gets on.
Well, just whilst we have a delay on this race start, we're going to have a look at people that have come from all of those different backgrounds to find indoor rowing. And one of those people is Matt Stankovic of the USA, a former NFL player who now participates in indoor rowing.
I chose to go to Penn State University to play college football on an athletic scholarship. Was the starting center for 2 years and received first team All Big Ten, and was a finalist for the Remington Trophy, which was one of 6 finalists for the best center in college football for my senior year. It's been a fascinating journey because it's at times it could be a frustrating sport because it's a painful sport at the same time, that you're trying to beat your own personal record. So it's the first time I'm really racing. On a concept too, when you're by yourself, it's a lot of self-responsibility to put into work day in, day out. And when it's actually the time to do the event, to make sure you're mentally ready and not psych yourself out. Make sure you stay focused and keep the nerves to the minimum, because the more you do that, the more your muscles are going to relax and the more you're going to be able to perform. But when you go to the competing part, I guess you have to realize in order to get better, you're going to go through some times of discomfort. It's a very healthy sport. It's good on the joints. It's low impact. And you can do it basically your whole life.
Well, you heard it there from Matt. Sometimes to be the best, you have to put yourself through some times of discomfort. And I'm sure we've got that coming up in this next race. Shane, do we think we're ready and on the start line for these Masters women?
Well, I think most of them are probably ready. They are all being called to stop rowing here as the boats are slowly winding down, allowing them the ability to clear up the technology, getting the race to be able to kick off. And yeah, I think we're probably going to be pretty close to our start here. Athletes, I'm sure, when they know their race is coming up, once they know the camera's on them, they want that race to go. The less time the camera can sit on you, the better, I think. All right, the athletes are being called ready.
Oh.
And another false start.
We were talking about that, Shane, weren't we? And there are definitely more full starts in indoor rowing. Definitely.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever seen false starts to this extent on the water before.
So that's boat number 16. That's Lara Gioldi from Italy, who is competing in the lightweight Masters 30 to 39 event.
Came in with a 139.9 qualifier.
There she is. You can see her on screen now, Laura. Just be careful with that handle the next time, hey?
Some of those athletes, as soon as that false start happens, they go right back to sitting ready. They just want to get this thing going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, Martin, if you were going to take a crack at this, if you were being put on the spot here, you knew that the camera was on you for this 500 meters, what would your strategy be? How would you take this thing? And what would your approach be?
Go out mad for 10 strokes and then get on your split. I think on your split after about 10, max 15 strokes in terms of the wind off, you've got to be on a split because you can blow up in this event, as you know. And, you know, I think that would be my fear. So I would want to know what my split was and get on it.
How much do you think that strong start sets the tone in a race like this?
Completely. I think it completely sets the tone, and you know, it can make the athlete feel good when they see those numbers, as we got to start in this event. And I think keep an eye on some of the lightweights, because there's some really good split times. You see some of the lightweights not doing so badly. Hansen from Denmark right up there at the moment as we go through the first 100 meters.
Yeah, I think you're going to see some lightweights that really put in some impressive times here that would be quite competitive even in that heavyweight category.
Yeah, we can see Anja Nordmann there in 5th place for Germany at the moment. There's Heckler in 3rd place in bronze medal position, just using about, half, 3/4 of a slide at the moment, Heckler.
Yeah, truly.
Schumacher in the lead by 2 meters from Heckler. And at the moment, she's being overhauled. Heckler's coming back on her. Schumacher, will she know that she's coming back? She looks like she's dying as she's going into the last 200 meters. Heckler comes through to take the lead, Shane.
Yep, and I think what we're watching is Schumacher starting to make a drop right now. The question will be if Riley can make a stand up to come push on her, but it looks like they may be dropping at the same pace. Heckler really looking like she's getting into her groove there. Hansen down in the lightweights, still holding on. However, Prince starting to make a move on her. It looks like she may have noticed it and is starting to fend it off with 50 meters to go.
50 meters to go, and it's Heckler from Finland out in front. There's Lara Gildi. She's back down in 3rd place for the lightweights. She's just finished. Holds her breath and tries to catch her breath.
There you go. And you watch those athletes sitting there, hands on knees, just trying to get about themselves once that race is done, trying to take in as much air as possible, have a reckoning with what you just went through.
Wasn't that interesting that you know, Schumacher went out quickly, and then Heckler, Schumacher was using most of her slide, and then Heckler was using 3/4 of the length of her slide and just came through in the second part of that race.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you look at these shorter races, this is where that technique change can really come in handy. And so you'll often see these top athletes that are coming into these sprint races may not be traditional rowers, and so their technique may not follow traditional rowing technique in that they do row at half slide, or perhaps they're rowing almost entirely arms and body only. I mean, I've seen some impressive splits out of technique that we wouldn't use for on-water rowing, but in the world of indoor rowing for short sprints, it can be very effective.
Faces the results of both of those categories, the women's 30 to 39 masters category and the lightweight 30 to 39 masters women as well. And Amanda Riley on the screen there, looking absolutely ecstatic, the Australian. And what a row from her. And we'll be seeing all of those results for both those categories in just a moment's time, once we've had a chance to get them all together and compile them. And of course, all of the results that we're showing you here on our leaderboards are unofficial and provisional until they've had a chance to be checked out by our officials and published later on today. So the results of those races pending at the moment. Just a reminder, of course, that if you want to find out a little bit more about rowing in general, you're new here, you've tuned into the live stream to watch a friend or family member, and you think this looks interesting, why don't you go and check out www.worldrowing.com and find out what it's all about, find out how you can get involved, and maybe this could be you next year in Toronto, over in Canada, where the next World Championships will take place in 2023. You can also get in touch on social media as well and keep those posts coming in. But whilst we wait for those results, I think we've got our next race lining up on the start line, the Masters 30-39 Men, Martin.
Yeah, and this is going to be a great race. The American contingent are pretty strong in this race, and Matt Snay looking at a 116 that he's pulled to get into this contest, and I think the mark for winning this is going to be around the 116 mark, maybe high 115, Shane.
Yeah, it's going to be, just because we say we're getting into to Masters categories here, it doesn't necessarily change the competitiveness or the splits that we're going to see. And I think you're right, at about that 115 pace, we're probably in the competitive range there.
Jonas Kovalainen from Finland there qualified with a 114.7, the 31-year-old, right on the cusp, isn't he, of the 30 Masters. That's a really good age to be.
Yeah, and he's actually a multi-sport athlete. He's also a naval pentathlon athlete and a life-saving athlete. I can't say I've heard of that, but he is competing in multiple areas. So you're looking at somebody who has a healthy athletic background, probably has a little bit of that competitive fire within them.
Finns have got a good contingent at this World Indoor Rowing Championships, haven't they?
They do.
They really do. And they've been very active on social media as well, which is what we're going to jump in and have a look at next, which is some of the posts we've got coming in. And we just saw Matt, actually, who's posted this. He was a former NFL player, now here, jumping on live to compete at the World Rowing in Virtual Indoor Championships. And we heard all about his approach and mentality to racing here today. What a fantastic transition he's made. And look, I can see presumably his little one watching on from the bouncer. What a great team and support mate to have for us racing at the World Championships. That's absolutely fantastic. And so great to keep those coming in. The next one we heard from Sonia as well earlier. She's been really keeping us updated with her progress, influencing Finnish rowing and indoor rowing, and she's doing such a fantastic job. We'll see her and her team. And Phil Clapp, there we go. He said not feeling 100% today. Maybe that's why we didn't see those 110s as a finish time from him, but he's done a very good job, clinched that gold medal. It seemed not to affect him too much. He still got the job done. And that was a bit of footage from his qualification. And look, Jade Lally, who picked up the silver medal earlier in that women's event, just absolutely, it seems like a little bit underwhelmed with the fact she had to do one more race, but nevertheless she came out with a silver medal. How fantastic. And the world record breaker Javier Munoz here competing from Spain, a new record for him, and lots of engagement here from the Spanish Rowing Federation. Vamos. What an amazing result in that PR1 men's 2,000 meters. He's certainly going to be one to watch. He came across to indoor rowing from canoeing, and just to let everyone know, you know, there's no one way to get into this sport. You can come from canoeing one year to setting a world record the next, and certainly that's what Munoz has done. So whilst we wait for the start of our next race, just a reminder that we are partnered here by Concept2, our presenting sponsor that make everything happen, and by Tencent Cloud, our cloud services and support partner for allowing us to broadcast this live around the world. We've also got merchandise available to buy, so if you're competing this weekend wherever you are in the world, make sure you head to www.worldrowing.com/store, and you will be able to purchase personalized t-shirts and things to commemorate the event. So Shane and Martin, you're jumping back in for our next race, the Masters Men 30 to 39.
Yeah, and here we are. We're hopefully getting ready to see this race kick off soon. Just waiting for those athletes to get the call that things are ready to go, that handles need to be put down. We're looking at some, as Martin mentioned, some fast times here, with 1:14.7 from Eunice being the fastest qualifying time coming into this. But I think that those top 3 to 4 spots close enough to each other that I'm not sure you can give any real card to any of them saying that this is where they're going to land.
Yeah, we've seen some high ratings, haven't we? I think, almost off the start, they're going to hit close to 50, aren't they, Shane?
Indeed. And even mid-race I think it was the last race, we saw 50s being hit from some of these big athletes. When you would expect to see that off the starts, they were hitting them mid-race.
Crazy. And that's not a full slide. You've got to be at half slide for 50, haven't you? That's a particular type of technique you reckon you can maximize your score.
There's certainly the opportunity to, if you can use it effectively. I think that's the key is, there's a perception from the outside. If you were to take a look at that, you may think that's how you row. As long as you can make it work, then it'll work for you. We've got another
full
false start
again.
here.
You just saw that. They saw that after a couple of strokes. I saw, was that the
boat
one of the
14,
athletes,
Richard Wood.
Yeah, Richard Wood from South Africa. I was going to say that was the British athlete there, but that's the American athlete. Big pull with the arms. Didn't quite see the legs locking on.
Well, you do see some big arms from some of these guys. Not typically the rowing body type. We always get the joke in rowing is, oh, you're a rower, you must have great arms. Now, more so great legs, but
yeah. Brent Fisher from New Zealand, about 2 a.m. in the morning for him from the Kiwi, qualified with a 1:19.
That is the one interesting piece about this event being virtual, is that no matter where in the world you are, we're all competing at the same time. And I think that makes this a very interesting race. And here we go. The athletes are off to a clean start.
Yeah, and those racing's going right up through the roof at the moment.
Egert Aram with a strong 113s there.
Jonas Kovalainen out in front ahead of Matt Snare, just by the 1 meter at the moment. Kovalainen holding off Matt Snare. Very
Matt Snare,
impressive.
you can see in your lower right on that screen. We'll see if he's able to hold on to that.
Big pull, high pull at the finish, isn't he, Matt Snare?
Indeed, and diving quite deep into that catch as well. There's going to be a lot of hang time that happens there. Whether that's going to be able to maintain tension for him, I think will be key.
Kovalainen, the 31-year-old, showing his dominance 6 meters ahead, 1:15 splits, 1:14 average. He's looking for as he comes into the last 100 meters. How's the race for third and fourth place, Shane?
Well, it looks like it's going to be close. We have a bit of a jockey happening right now. 11 and 12 meters. Looks like Haberman is starting to make a move on Zach Foll. He's definitely dropped his split a bit lower into the final 50. There's a shift. Haberman takes that third place position. Foll just watching it slip away. And it looks like unofficially Haberman took that bronze position right out of Zach Foll's hands. That's got to be a rough finish.
The 33-year-old German came through just to snatch it, I think, out of Foll's hands. Foll, 34 years of age.
Indeed.
Yeah. Fist
That's
pumps
a tough
there.
play to be.
Doing it in his
Eunice.
gym.
There's Eunice, our unofficial winner right now.
Was that someone warming up next to him? It wasn't him trying to do some firm strokes, was it?
Well, could you imagine that? I mean, it's great that we're getting back to in-person events, but look, there you go. Results from the Masters 30 to 39 men. More victory for Finland here. A gold medal being taken away. So all the results there, you can find them online a little bit later on worldrowing.com. But we're going to jump straight into our next race, which is the lightweight category for the men's 30 to 39.
Yep. And these athletes have been told to stop rowing. which means that race is imminent.
Wang Qishen from Hong Kong. Is that ready, the 32-year-old? Gaze intent.
Right onto that monitor.
Here's 36, Stephen Kress from the USA. Ooh, almost looked like a full start.
Wow,
He did that really
he got
well.
away. He got away with that. I thought for sure we were going to be watching our false start happen there.
Another Finn takes the lead. Jonas Macapelto out in front there with 1:16, and very impressive start from the man who qualified with a 1:22. Target is 1:22 for this event here. Below that at the moment, but he's down on his sit now.
And that was the man that was sitting next to the other unison last race.
62 strokes a minute. That is crazy. Have you ever seen that, Shane?
No, but he's. We'll see if that's going to hold. I think this one might bite him in the butt in this last little bit here. We'll see. But it seems he's holding on to that lead. That is impressive. He is just absolutely wasting himself.
Look at him there, half slide. He's got no body lean forward. He's almost leaning back. It's crazy. Yeah. I've never seen a technique like that take a world title.
And this is where that arms and body can come into play. If you have a strong enough back, you have a good hip opening, it can be beneficial in a short race like this. Once you pass 500 meters, not incredibly effective, but it is paying off. We have the two side-by-side athletes. Two side-by-side athletes just taking the first place in those races.
Unbelievable. Look.
That was in it. The two unices, the heavyweight and the lightweight, sitting next to each other, one race after another, taking home 2 golds in the same, what looked to be a garage. That was an impressive finish.
It's impressive to manufacture a win with that technique. I mean, it's not one for the purists, was it?
Well, apparently it might be the new indoor rowing purist. Who knows? I guess we'll see. It's maybe they're staking their claim on the new technique. And as we keep saying, on-water rowing has its technique, and indoor rowing, at the end of the day, what matters most are the splits you're able to pull out of that monitor. And so what we're seeing here is they're doing what needs to be done to get the splits. And as the question is, can it hold for 2,000 meters? I don't know. We'll see tomorrow.
Well, that is the golden question, and we have a golden pairing from Finland, and we're going to bring you those unofficial results just now from that last race and the previous race as well. So there he is, Jonas Macapelto, the victor, and we saw him doing a little victory show off there next to the other champion. It's then Hong Kong, China's Wang Qishen in silver medal position, and Nigel Roda from Canada that takes the bronze medal. So there's your full unofficial results from that Masters 30 to 39 lightweight men. And we'll catch our breath once again, take a small pause, go make yourself a cup of tea, because we've got much more coming up. But first, some messages from our commercial partners.
This is Tencent Cloud Today. We simplify complex technology and open up boundless frontiers. We build big accomplishments from little things, support discretionary access to existing networks, and inject new momentum into business growth. Let Tencent Cloud be your partner. Shape a more flexible, efficient, and refined business landscape. This is where it all begins. Simplicity from complexity. The details of greatness. Tencent Cloud.
Well, we're going to jump straight back into the action now with the Masters Women's 40 to 49 and Masters Women's Lightweight 40 to 49. So, Martin, we're going to see two categories competing in this race. Can you talk us through how that's going to look on the screen?
Yeah, the yellow boats will be the Masters Women 40 to 49, and the red boats will be the lightweight women, who will have to have weighed in at 59 kilos. I'm not quite sure what that is in pounds and stone. Shane might know the answer to that.
Let me do a little quick math here. That's 129.8. Let's call it 130. It's going to be that in pounds weight.
130 pounds. So I guess the scores from this you'd expect to be lower than the Masters Women 30. We're looking at around about sort of low 130s, I think, for the Open Women. And
actually, if you look at the top qualifiers for the lightweight women and for the 40 plus, we're actually quite close here. We have a 133.9, whereas lightweight are 134.8 with Lizzie Carson. So we'll see how that shakes out. I think Lizzie Carson's got a good chance on the lightweight side.
We're off with this race at the moment, and Henrietta Hogberg is leading 5 meters over the USA's Ella Fox, with Britain's Arabella Carbut in third place, just a meter behind, very close for that silver medal position at the moment, just a meter in it. Norway's Lena Beesland back in fourth place, and there's a great race coming through with 200 meters to go.
Yeah, it looks like Fox and Carbut is going to be the race to watch here, as they're able to hold on to those positions as they come into the finish. Both of them actually, oh, there's a shift. They're sitting at equal distance behind Hogberg. It looks like Carbut's making her move now with 100 to go. She's trying to close quick. Hogberg's split starting to rise. Carbut's dropping it down to a 133. Fox looks like she might lose her position coming into the finish there.
Just the 1 meter. Carbut is really going for it now. That's an amazing sprint for the line. Will she take it? She's just behind. Oh, the same time. Shane.
We may have a tie. Hard to tell right now. We got to wait for those unofficial scores to come through, but wow. That was a steam on in that final 150 meters by Carbut. What an impressive performance there.
Carbut 45 and Hogberg 42. Respectively, their ages, and such a sensational finish from the British Masters 40 category.
Wow, and what, I didn't even notice this, but what we saw as well was a tie for gold and a tie for bronze.
I didn't notice
those
that.
133.8s both in that bronze position. We have 2 gold medalists and 2 bronze medalists. That is a unique and exciting finish.
Lena Beesland from Norway and the American Morgan McGrath, absolutely stunning. Those 2 close finishes, and I guess you would have those close finishes in 500 meters. We just haven't seen 2 of them, have we?
No.
Morgan McGrath started indoor rowing in 2016, and she's competed in lots of indoor rowing championships since. She loves the ski erg as well, and she holds 10 ski erg world records. So,
and she has a pretty incredible weight loss story as well. She is truly an amazing athlete.
Well, not often you're going to see this on the screen, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone. It's a tie for gold, a tie for bronze in the Masters 40 to 49 women. Arabella Carbut and Henrietta Hoberg tying up the win there. And we're already flying on to the next race, which is the Masters 40 to 49 men. Shane, take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. These athletes are already getting queued up, ready to go. They've been told to stop rowing, which means that we're about to kick this thing off. I don't know how much I need to tell you about these guys. I think we just let their performances speak for themselves as we kick this race off. Hopefully they can all be patient enough to let themselves get a clean start and a good race on. Being told to sit ready.
There they go. We've got a clean start, which is great, apart from one of the athletes, Jun, who is seemingly starting later than the others, but it's Joel Smith from Australia in the middle of the night, nearly coming up to 1 a.m., who is leading this race. That will be a turn-up if the Australian manages to hold on to the end of that race, the 42-year-old. And
wow, sitting down at 112 right now. That is a sharp split to hold. Impressive from Joel Smith to be doing what he's doing right now. Matthew West from GBR trying to hold on to striking distance, see if he might have a move to be able to make in the second half.
Joel Smith works in the prison system, in a high security prison system in Queensland, Australia, and there are several Concept 2 rowers in the prison. So that's quite an interesting background for Joel Smith leading this race. But Anton Grassel from Slovakia has just moved through, Shane.
Yeah, it looks like Joel Smith might be slipping a little bit. Nicholas Thomas making a move. Looks like he might. There he goes. He takes over that silver position, bumping him down to bronze. Anton Grassel taking the win there. Unofficial time of 1:14.3. That was a remarkable pace for that category, for that men's 40.
Yeah, 1:14, sub 1:15 for Grassel. The Slovakian, the 43-year-old. He's right at the beginning of that 40 category. So, you would expect him at 43, maybe 44, just to hold those kind of great scores.
I think Matthew West, our fourth place position.
Yeah, he's 49. Shane, which is pretty impressive that a 49-year-old is able to hold those kind of scores. It's quite a wide sort of age band, isn't it, really, 40 to 49?
Yeah, that age gap is, if you're coming in on the early side of that versus the later side, I think that really changes the way the competition and your own fitness can lay out.
Shane, that's such a good point, but it's the same at every age banding, and they'll take that with them the whole way up if they carry on competing. Here is the result from that Masters 40 to 49 men. We've just seen Anton Grassel topping out the table there, ahead of Nicholas Thomas and Joel Smith in silver and bronze. Provisionally, of course, unofficial results. Will be confirming all of these later once they have been audited and given the green light. But a great win there provisionally for Grassel in this category. And we're going to jump in to show you some social media interactions we've been having. We've been loving seeing your posts coming in on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And first up, we're going to have a quick look at what we've seen on Instagram. And there you go, a bit of national pride there from one of our Canadian athletes, and a bit of a timeline look. If you look in the comments, that's what race day looks like for one of our athletes, and a great one piece as well, representing Canada. Again, Matthew West here showing a finalist from that last race. We just saw him competing in that 500 meters for the Masters men 40 to 49. What a great finish, and great to see him there. And a few more qualification shots coming in. It's great to see how these athletes have come to gain their places in the final here at the World Rowing Virtual Indoor Championships. And the Norwegian Concept 2 page, Concept 2, our partner for this event, sharing lots of content from all the countries they operate in. Norway, Italy here, Concept2 Italy, showing us some of the athletes that they've got, and looks like one of their gold medalists, in fact, from earlier on today. So huge congratulations to all of our athletes who are taking part. And Kirsten Klein here, and it's been great to see her getting ready, the reigning world champion. Exciting that we've got her back qualifying into the finals again this year, and we'll be talking with her on our Instagram live later. So if you've not had enough of our broadcast here, jump on over to our Instagram to catch our Instagram live that will be happening at around about 3:45 in UTC. So just a few minutes now until the next race on our programme, which will be the Masters Men Lightweight 40 to 49 race. And just to remind you, we're partnered here by Concept2, who are helping us present these virtual championships, and Tencent Cloud providing all of the support for our broadcast all around the world, our live streaming going global. So the next race on your screen, that Masters Men Lightweight 40 to 49, will be commentated to you by Martin Cross and Shane Farmer.
I was just going to say, actually, Camilla, just heard from Tony Ward on social media, who's watching this back in Britain. He's posed a question: did Anton Grassi just win 40 to 49 half an hour after taking bronze in the Open? Which, of course, he did. He took bronze behind Phil Clapp and Cameron Warren. So that's 2 medals for Anton Grassel. Thank you for that, Tony Ward.
I was thinking that as he was racing. I mean, truly impressive being able to pull that off. All right, athletes have been told to stop rowing. Waiting on number, there we go. All athletes have stopped. Jem Bersen sitting ready.
Jem Bersen, 40 years of age. The right end of the age category.
Setting that handle down.
You've got to be disciplined to do that, haven't you?
It's true. And there's one of our top contenders there, Francesco. Pulling in one of those pulling in the top qualifying time at a 1:25.8. He's definitely one to keep your eyes on.
What is that? What sort of technique was that? That was amazing. Did you see that? He kind of sat on backstops and then just pulled his handle. Have you ever seen that before, Shane?
I can't say I have, but hey, looks like we've got new techniques born every day, and all that matters at the end of the day is where the medals fall out, I suppose.
Wow.
Tyson Witt making a quick play for that early lead.
Tyson Witt, 44 years of age. Great technique. There's the Italian, who is just not quite matching his split. 3 meters behind. Tyson Witt's going to be very satisfied with that start as they come with 200 meters to go. He's still got the edge on Pronkianati.
And I think we're going to see the Hungarian Flyvaz Istvan make a move here. It looked like he was challenging, but he might be fading now based off what I'm seeing on his live splits. 2 meters to go for Francesco to be able to overtake that lead position, but I think Tyson Witt fending him off with 50 meters to go.
He looks great, Tyson Witt, doesn't he? He's still really long, really effective. Chiklar there, the Belgian, in bronze medal position.
Seeing that wood handle from Chiklar, that means we're looking at probably a Concept2 Model C or earlier, Model B perhaps. I think that's a C based off what I'm seeing.
I think it's a C. Falls off the machine. He's obviously doing it at home, isn't he?
Truly. Love seeing those athletes that are sitting in a living room or in their hallway, just finding the space for that machine to fit.
It just shows you the effort involved in 500 meters max, doesn't it?
Truly.
Tyson
and it
Witt,
also goes to show the accessibility of it all. That you don't have to be anywhere special or belong to any specific club. You can do this in the comfort of your own living room / dining room.
Yeah, and there he is on the floor of his dining room. John Puchek from the USA back in 8th place. James Short finished 5th from Britain. He is in some pain. He's got the ski erg in the back there. That's a pretty good setup he's got at home with the Concept 2 rowing ergometer and the ski erg. Not sure he's got enough room for much else in that living space.
Well, we'll be hearing from the founders of Concept 2 in just a moment's time after we've seen these results from the last race, and great battles all around. And despite some of the false starts, we've had some really close racing. Still, look at that, barely anything. In fact, nothing separating our silver medalists. Tyson Witt, though, a clear winner there for gold in our unofficial results of the Masters 40 to 49 lightweight men. And then joint silver medalists. Fantastic to see how close things are. So I mentioned earlier, we're going to be hearing from the founders of Concept 2. You've seen all of their ergometers. We couldn't be running this race without them. So let's hear a little bit more from Dick and Peter Dreisacker, the founders of Concept 2.
Yeah, for anyone who hasn't seen the first rowing machines that we made, they were made with standard parts, with bicycle parts, things that we just cobble together and make something that would work. The rowing community was so ready for something that was a training machine that was really affordable, that they could get on, that they could get enough of these machines together to have a competition. I mean, the rowing community is what made it work.
I guess in the back of our minds, we always felt that indoor rowing could someday take its rightful place along with indoor, stationary bikes and treadmills as sort of the mainstay of indoor cardiovascular fitness.
It's something we've been trying to promote to as many people as possible, trying to build that base of people who embrace rowing, and we felt like we were the only ones out there trying to push it. And now there's some real momentum, and we're seeing the numbers of people who embrace rowing as an activity just skyrocketing.
It's really full body. You get full movement of all your limbs and whatnot, and it just makes you feel good after you row.
Well, we said this event would not be happening without them. Concept 2, thank you for partnering with us to present this event. So quickly now on to the next category. We're bumping up to 50 to 59 now. Shane, what are we going to see here?
Well, I think one of the exciting parts about this race is that you're seeing both in the women's 50 and the lightweight women's 50. We have both world record holders present in the race. So there is a chance that we may see a world record broken today. In the women's 50, it's Benita Clausen. She pulled a 133.1 in qualifying, and 132.9 is the world record. So she's in striking distance. And then Paola Mancini, who pulled 140.2 in her qualifying with a 138.4 being the world record. We'll just have to see if they have the gas in the tank today.
That's so exciting to be that close to a world's best time, Shane.
Absolutely. And knowing that each of those athletes have previously owned them, the question is if they want to try and put their stamp down further as to whether or not that record might be even more untouchable after today. Athletes being told to stop rowing. You can see their support teams around them, helping them stay in their zone, giving them last-minute words of advice, encouragement. You may have noticed that some athletes have people standing on their machines. That's in an effort to make sure that they avoid any slippage of the machine from underneath them.
Yeah, just as you drive off, that can sometimes happen, can't it? You can see Pastel Garzela, the 50-year-old, has got gloves on there.
And we have a clean start. The athletes are off. Again, those athletes to keep an eye on: Paola Mancini and Benita Clausen. We'll see where things shake out for them.
Rachel Egner right up there at the moment from the States. Fantastic
Absolutely.
start from her, the 52-year-old CrossFit athlete.
Benita making a move on her, starting to put a little distance, saying, careful, this is my territory here.
Yeah, that's a good move, wasn't it? So the first three look fairly confirmed. Clausen, Egner and Farsen from Norway, USA and Sweden. Joanne Blundell trying to get in on the party, but at about 4 to 5 meters back at the moment. Can't quite maintain the splits as we come to the last 200, Shane.
Yeah, she's pushing her way well off into the lead, and you look down at Paola Mancini as well in that lightweight, and she's sitting in very much the same position. Not a whole lot of threat coming her way, kind of staking her claim, saying, hey, this is my race.
Yeah, she pulled a 140 in qualifying, Mancini, and she looks to be right on that split at the moment. 100 meters to go, and Klaus is out in front. What is she going to pull? Is she going to get that record time?
It's hard to know. It's hard to know if she's happy with that first place position, so she knows she doesn't have to kill herself, or if she's going to try and make a shot at that record again.
I think she's
132.8 unofficial, which would, if it panned out that way, if that's an official time, then she might have taken that world record again. Beat it by 1/10 of a second.
That is amazing.
We'll have to see based off how the results actually come out. She handled that race. She really let that start be what it made, knowing that she had the legs, I think, to be able to sustain through that. I think she knew she had that race ahead of her.
And in the lightweights, Paola Mancini wins that category ahead of Britain's Samantha Ayres and another Italian, Francesca de Tiberius, takes the bronze medal in the women's 50 lightweight category.
Yeah, so results now from that. Well, it's always exciting when you're keeping the eye on the clock for a world record, isn't it? So we'll wait to confirm that in just a second for you. Of course, everything unofficial at this point in time, but the results board will be up shortly. And there it is. Benita Clausen, undoubtedly the top of the board there by 5 seconds on split time. Absolutely huge over only 500 meters. So no doubt about her gold medal. But we're just waiting to confirm officially if potentially that could be a new world record. And indeed, a new world record there for the Norwegian, 132.8. I think the second world record we've seen today. And now the 50 to 59 lightweight women's provisional results. Another huge win there for Paola Mancini of Italy ahead of Samantha Ayres of Great Britain. And then an Italian sandwich there for the bronze medal. And keep getting in touch with us. We're loving hearing from you. It's great to see all the posts coming through thick and fast from Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Remember to keep tagging us in everything that you use. You can use all of the hashtags like hashtag indoor rowing, hashtag world rowing indoor, and hashtag WRICH to get your posts to us. And let's have a look now at some of those posts that have come in. So we'll be bringing those to you in just a second. Here we go. And one of our commentators, Akil Abdullah, he was with us all of the first session this morning and encouraging everyone else to tune in. And big congratulations there for the fastest 500-meter time we've had today from silver Olympic medalist Jack Beaumont from the British men's quad. And that's me. I'm in fact subbing in here for Peter O'Hanlon, who's got COVID, unfortunately. We're sending our best wishes to Pete. I've jumped in to his usual spot whilst I wish him the best recovery. And we're sending all of our commentary thoughts to him. So now we're going to jump into some commercials from our partners.
This is Tencent Cloud Today. We simplify complex technologies and open up boundless frontiers. We build big accomplishments from little things, support discretionary access to existing networks, and inject new momentum into business growth. Let Tencent Cloud be your partner. Shape a more flexible, efficient, and refined business landscape. This is where it all begins. Simplicity from complexity. The details of greatness. Tencent Cloud.
Well, hey, I guess we're getting ready for our 50 to 59 men here, huh?
It looks that way, doesn't it? And I think the world record at this is 113.7, held by Paul Jeffrey, the 54-year-old Australian who was 54 when he broke it. I don't know what age he is now.
Qualifying times leading into this, not sure we're seeing any scores that would necessarily put that record at jeopardy here, but our top times and top names to watch here: Dirk Muller, David Harris, and Mark Roberson, as well as quite a few at the 121s there: Adam Harley and Ivar Jurgensen in the 119s and 120s. I think we got another race where we're looking for that 120 cusp here to see who's going to be able to move through.
Well, San Manim there. You can see on screen the 54-year-old from Thailand. Great to see such a widespread of athletes from all over the world taking part in these virtual World Rowing Championships, and they're off.
They are indeed. I always like to wait this first 100 before making any calls because it's almost tough for the computers to keep up, alone with what splits they're pulling early on, as well as their stroke rates being so high.
Mark Roberson from Great Britain out in front there. Roberson, 54 years of age. That's a pretty good age to come into this category. There you see Mark Roberson. Not much lean back at the finish.
David Harris making that challenge to push for that silver spot. Dirk Muller trying to fend off Harris at this point. Looks like Roberson maybe slipping back just a hair.
There's only a meter in it, and Dirk Muller, where's he gone now? He's gone right down. Has he blown up, or has maybe
looks as if we may
have
lost his monitor for a second?
Yeah.
I assume he'll still be in the mix.
He's still in the mix, absolutely right. It's David Harris. Mark Roberson has come back into it with 100 meters to go. It's so close,
yes, it's
isn't
going
it?
to be just a close race for all 1, 2, 3 positions here. Oh, Roberson
takes it.
Let's
look
see if
at
Harris
him go
has a
there. You can see him
counter.
on the screen just pulling towards his body as he comes to the finish. Is it Roberson? No. Oh.
It looks as if Roberson took that lead position, was able to hold it. Unofficial, of course, but it looks like 1, 2, 3, Mark Roberson, David Harris, and Dirk Muller. 118, 119, and 119.4 respectively.
There you see Roberson. Do you think he knows he's won it?
It's probably tough to tell, but I'm sure it's showing him in first on the screen.
118.8. He looks delighted through the pain, doesn't he? Very interesting technique. Not much lean back at the finish. So,
I think he's relying on his mass on that one. That's, there's a technique that allows you to really just put your whole body into that stroke, and it can pay off.
Yeah. David Harris from the USA, 51-year-old. Started indoor rowing in 2019, just in time for the pandemic. Won the British Indoor Rowing Championships 500-meter race in his age category, taking a silver medal here.
by 0.2 between gold and silver and 0.4 between silver and bronze. It was tooth and nail the whole way for those three Masters 50 to 59 men. But the results there for all 13 competitors in that event on your screen now. Unofficial results, of course, have to caveat with that. But guys, I think that might have been one of the best races we've had today so far, and more to come. We are not stopping yet, and so keep in touch with us. Keep in touch on social media. We are still looking at all your posts right through to the end of the day. Share your messages of encouragement for the athletes. Share anything that you want to with us. If you're tuning in from home, from the gym, wherever you are in the world, please let us know. And we saw the team earlier from Uganda competing in the 3-minute team race, and look at that, we've got pictures coming in from the sports club where they all took part. Fantastic to see. And a new Finnish record here from World Rowing's Athlete of the Month. Joel Nakarainen of Finland is sharing lots of stuff with us. Fantastic to see him competing here. Rower of the Month for February for World Rowing. And Rowing Australia getting in on all the action. Almost 50 Australians earning the right to compete here at the World Rowing Virtual Indoor Championship Finals. And that'll be across both today and tomorrow. Remember, we're back again tomorrow, so don't go away just yet. The rest of today to finish off, and make sure that you keep an eye out on tomorrow's mostly 2,000 meter racing that we've got on the programme. A few minutes now until we start our next race, so we continue to climb up the age categories, but it certainly, Shane, isn't meaning that we're getting any further apart racing. In fact, it seems to be getting closer and closer.
It truly is. And I think as these, many of these athletes have known each other throughout the years, as well as, you get these new entries that start to come in as indoor rowing is growing in popularity. So you see these athletes who have been around each other, maybe racing each other through their age categories, and now have some new athletes coming in. I think it forces the, a rising tide lifts all boats, if you will. I think you're seeing the performance really have to elevate inside of every category. And that's why you're seeing these athletes maybe even coming over from other sports, finding that they have a future in indoor rowing, and they're really they're shining as they come to compete here. And so, yeah, as we see these age categories climb, that competition just heats up, because you have a lot of people who still want to compete, still want to show what they've got.
Yeah, we've got how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 athletes here. Not all of those that qualified have been able to show up at the start line. 72.5 kilos, which is around about, I think, 135 pounds for these lightweight men to weigh in at in the 50 to 59 category. The oldest of these, I think, is Steve Tague from the USA, who is 59. I bet he can't wait to be a year older to go into the 60 category.
He actually has a note here saying that a friend of his coach has been collecting glue and tape just to hold him together as he's getting himself prepped for these races. But I think he's still within a strong striking distance here. I mean, the top 4 times I think we're going to see Herman, Steven Isaacson, Steve Tugg, and Paul Morris. I think we're going to see a real strong shakeout in the competition here.
Yeah, what are we looking for? Around the run 124, 125s type of thing?
I think 125 is what we're going to be seeing today. Is that final time? 125s, 126s. But I think we're going to see a healthy amount of jumping around in those positions. I'm excited for this one.
Oh wow.
Steven Isaacson was last year's 2021 bronze medalist. So excited to see how he fares today. That race looks like it is off.
Paul Morris, the 53-year-old, on screen now in his house.
Isaacson, looking like he's taking the lead there.
Yeah, That's a nice handy lead. We thought about 125. They're going to go down to that split at the moment. Steve Tague, we mentioned about him, rating 50 at the moment. Incredible splits from him.
Amazing.
To take the lead. Paul Morris on screen back there in 5th place, but at the moment it's Steve Tague just a metre ahead. Well, I was going to say he was a metre ahead of Isaacson, but they've just swapped position with Rendo Jimeno from Spain. Steve Isaacson back in 3rd now. 200 to go, Shane.
Jimeno looking like he's hunting there. He wants Steve Tague. He wants that leader position. Tague just giving it up there, but looking like he's not willing to let it go. There's a counter there. Jimeno split climbs right back up after he makes the switch. Tague drops his. Now we're seeing a swap again. Now they're dead even, 127s. This is going to be close coming into the finish. Jimeno dropping back slightly. I think Tague's got what it's going to take to get that hold on that gold medal.
Well, will the 59-year-old take this? It looks like he has done. You are absolutely right. Look at the pain on his face. I like that hairdo as well.
Yeah, absolutely. and also to upset that leading qualifying time from Jimeno. I mean, that is truly a great performance. And Jimeno getting really challenged in that race. Steven Isaacson, who we called out ahead of time, coming in, it looks like perhaps tying for silver. So we may have had a really interesting, well, we did have an interesting race there, but big congrats to Steve Tague for placing himself there.
Well, you did call it, Shane, that we were going to have close races throughout the day, and in particular with this race as well, with those times coming into the regatta here, it was just oh so close.
And it's the same story again and again, a joint medal here in this Masters 50 to 59 lightweight men's category. We saw how close it was. At one point, the Spanish athlete Germán Rendo Jimeno was in the lead until about 50 meters to go. So it just goes to show you how close it is himself. And Steven Isaacson of the USA clinching joint silver, but it was Steve Tague that managed to find that extra energy to come out on top of this event with the gold medal provisionally. So after that race, we're now going to jump in and catch up with one of our athletes that's been competing here over the weekend, Sonia Peltola of Finland, who is going to talk to us a little bit more about what she's doing for indoor rowing in Finland.
Six years ago, I started CrossFit, and it was maybe first time when I tried indoor rowing machine. Very soon when I started, my CrossFit coaches were always standing behind me, and they were like, "Oh, you row very fast, and you should go and try to go to national competitions in Finland." Then I tried. I participated for a 500 meter, and I won, and I did new Finnish record in that. So I was like, okay, maybe I am good at this. Competing with people across the globe, it's very interesting, and I'm very grateful that I have this opportunity. In Finland, I maybe know the people who are competing against me. I know how strong and fast they are, so it's more exciting to meet people virtually. With our women's team, we are going to go to one specific gym, and we are there all together. And that's how we try to create the atmosphere and the feeling that, okay, we are together. But with our mixed team, I'm not sure. We 2 women in our mixed team are in the same place, and the guys are maybe in other places. And that's very interesting also, that I haven't even met those those guys. We just put our team together, and yeah, it's interesting, but let's see. We will have very strong teams against us, but that makes that more interesting. But yeah, expectations are high.
Well, great to hear from Sonia, and she'll be with us on Instagram Live later. So once this broadcast is finished, make sure you hop on over to Instagram about an hour after this broadcast finishes to hear from some of those athletes over on our social media. So next up, we've got the Masters Men 60 plus event. Sorry, Masters Women 60 plus event, and there's no top range on this. It's just 60 plus. So we've got probably going to have quite a range here, Martin, of athletes competing.
Yeah, the oldest is 67-year-old Carol Ecker from the UK, and the youngest is 61-year-old. There are a few of them that come in 61-year-olds. But I did see, actually, there is someone, Puncha Pratpong from Thailand. Is that right, Shane? Have I got that right? I'm just checking at 92.
Yeah, it looks like 92. 92.
In the lightweight category.
Yep, with a qualifying time of 4 minutes. I mean, that's truly an impressive spread. That
And
60
she is
to
on the start
61
line.
to 92.
She's got her tracker there on the start line.
Absolutely. Now, when you look at the leading positions here, it looks like we're going to have some standout in Sharon Ann Jones from Australia in the women's 60 plus, and then Shelley Cornish in the lightweight women's 60 plus at a 147.5. So we may see some standouts, and that field may get fairly spread apart here. But again, as Martin mentioned, we're seeing that large age range starting at 60. 61 and heading up from there with absolutely no cap on top of it.
I mean, basically, they ought to give Punchela Pradbumbung a medal wherever she finishes, really, in this, if she's competing at 92.
Well, I think that's the testament to the ability for anyone to use indoor rowing. It really sets the tone for this is a thing that can continue with you for your entire life. It is truly easy on the body, and the challenges are the ones that you set in front of yourself.
Yeah, well said.
Our athletes are being called to stop rowing, which means that they're being told to now sit ready. And we have a start.
Yeah, we have a great start. And Sharon Ann Jones leaps into the lead, I think, boat number 8 straight away.
Same with Shelley Cornish down on the lightweight side.
And it's Punchala from Thailand heading back on the field, but you'd expect that. She's 30 years, giving 30 years away to all these athletes.
Truly amazing. And
Celia,
inspiring for her to be there and competing nonetheless.
Celia Whittam in third place there with a long lean back. Penny Vincent Sweet from France. She's back there in 6th place at the moment. Great if we got a shot at the tie row. I wonder if she's on camera. I bet she isn't.
We see Sharon Ann Jones furthering her lead here, 19 meters between her and 2nd place. Anne-Marie Schultz on screen there.
46 strokes a minute for Schultz.
Yeah, and sitting in 2nd place for the lightweight. 25 meters back from 1st.
Raponen in the lightweight category. She's in 6th place in the lightweight category.
Celia Whittam made a last-minute shift there, jumping into that 2nd place position.
Well spotted there, Shane.
Alwatef down to 3rd.
So Sharon Ann Jones takes this race ahead of, well, Shelley Cornish came in there, the Australian lightweight, just ahead of Celia Whittam, I think, with a faster time. That's an impressive pull.
Shelley Cornish coming in about 2 seconds or 3 seconds faster than her qualifying time. I mean, that is some serious heat that she put on in that race, considering she qualified with a 147.5 and just pulled a 144.9 unofficial.
Shelley Cornish at 65 years of age holds 5 national Australian records. She does. And she's attempting this year to become the first and only female Masters champion to win the 2K and 500 meters at successive World Championship events. Good luck.
Pretty amazing feat to be able to pull that off if she can.
So there we see Punchula Pradupong from Thailand, the 92-year-old. She has 100 or so meters left to go in this race.
She's holding the split about 30 seconds faster than her qualifying time, that 4-minute split. Right now she's sitting in the 3:20s.
Sensational, isn't it?
I think she might come in well ahead of her qualifying time. Almost at that 50-meter to go mark. That split creeping back up to 4 minutes.
Well, I wonder if that's going to be a world record time. I think it's 2:43, the world record time, which was witnessed at a public club for 90 to 99 category.
Here we go, coming into her final strokes. 3:34.2. I mean, well done considering that 4-minute qualifying time. That's some serious time shaved off.
It is some serious time shaved off. Well, that was a spread of ages in that race, wasn't it?
Wow, and just the other thing, a huge variety of locations. I saw that our winner there, in one of the categories, looked like she was running in her office, which she's surrounded by sort of files and her computer and amazing stuff. And in fact, it was, yes, Sharon Ann Jones of Australia did that, all surrounded by paperwork to clinch the gold medal provisionally in that Masters 60+ women's group. Celia Whittam back again following her performance last year to get a silver medal, and the rest of the results you'll be able to find a little bit later on online. The lightweights now we're jumping into, which is Shelley Cornish, the champion there, ahead of Anne-Marie Schultz and Nadine Limousin of France, a French 2-3 there in that lightweight category. So we're nearing the end of the program now. We're coming to the final few races, and Martin, Shane, you've been absolutely great company to take us through all of these. Martin, what's been your favourite moment so far of the day?
I think the favourite moment for me has been to look at that close race in the men's open 500 meters. Was it with those two? What was the race with the two finishes, the 2 gold medals and the 2 gold medals and 2 bronze medals? I'm trying to remember back to what that was. It was fantastic to watch it across the finish line. Love seeing those big scores from the men as well, from Phil Clapp and so on, just, down to figures that you could only ever dream of.
And it looks like now we're starting to get the men's 60+ queued up, ready to go. Nicholas Cowan looking like he's in a cabin somewhere. I suppose you can take that machine anywhere you want to go.
Yeah, we're hearing there'd be a little bit of a delay before the next race starts. Nicholas Cowan, the 62-year-old, looks like he's got a bit of support there.
Our age spread in this category, not quite as broad as the previous. It looks like most of our athletes are 68 or under. I think 68 being the oldest that I'm seeing from Ki-Hyun Lee in this race. So we're, a little bit tighter in our target here for what we're getting with these athletes.
I think actually there are some older athletes racing in the 2K tomorrow. I think we've got a 95-year-old gentleman racing in that category, or certainly entered in that category in tomorrow's race.
Well, there's certainly something to be said for the difference that happens between a 2K and a 500. I mean, a 500 race is quite explosive, and there's a much higher demand on the body when you get into a 500. So there's something to be said for if you can take what you're doing today, that ability to put in that explosive activity, and then be able to have the recovery enough to go and compete again tomorrow in the 2K. There's a lot of fitness required there.
Yeah. Just saw the Puerto Rican athlete there, Christopher Del Rey, the 63-year-old.
Joseba Saez Alzua in his library, I'm guessing there.
Just fits nicely in the edge, that rowing machine.
It does. You know, I feel like it can be a work of art as well as an exercise machine.
Looks like he's got a new rowing machine there.
That thing's pretty shiny. I wonder if he picked it up just for today. You know, an interesting and possibly an easy way to decipher who your rowers versus who your indoor rowers, or perhaps you're coming from your fitness side of things, are, is to look at the kit that they're wearing. Often you'll see your rowers wearing their actual unis or trow, just the typical spandex shorts that come from the world of rowing. If you see traditional gym garb, regular gym shorts or t-shirts, you're probably looking at somebody that's coming from the fitness side of things.
Well, we've been sent plenty of pictures of people in whatever they're wearing all across the world, from those 66 countries that are competing across today and tomorrow. And a few pictures of us, actually, in fact. So this is your team behind the team. So you can see, obviously, there Martin, Shane and I, part of the commentary team here, but also all of our behind-the-scenes production team, time team, who are putting the software together to make this happen. The guys at World Rowing there in the bottom right-hand corner. And some more messages of support as well from Di Binley of Ardingly Rowing Club. And she's saying that great to see a silver for Sam Ayres of Lakeland Rowing Club, based up in the northwest of England. And Shane, a bit of support from you as well. Great to see you putting out some words of encouragement to get people tuning into the live stream and catching the last few minutes. You know, we're online for the next kind of 15-20 minutes or so to wrap up this day of racing. But do not fear, we'll be back again tomorrow where we've got a lot of the 2-kilometre racing taking place. We've also got the mixed relay on the cards for tomorrow. But all to come, and still a few races yet to close out the day. And of course, we could not have done any of this without our partners. Concept2 have been absolutely fantastic, ensuring all of the athletes have a machine to race on, to be quite honest. And then Tencent Cloud back partnering with us again to provide all of our cloud services and support to stream this around the world. So the delay on this race, hopefully now closing in on the starting few strokes. And if you are waiting for a friend or family member in this next race, maybe have a look at the World Rowing website, the www.worldrowing.com, to have a look at whether you could get involved as well. We're going to take a short pause now to take a look at some of the sort of pre-recorded content that our guys at World Rowing have been going out and getting for this event.
Hello, my name is WRICH. This is my qualification race for 500 meters.
Hey, my name is Jeremy Weaver. I am doing a 500 meter test.
From Saudi Arabia.
Mayam Ahmed, Dimyati from Egypt.
Julien Brabant, France. I'm representing Puerto Rico.
I am Amanda Riley, and today is the 23rd of January.
Mr. Samroy Kornak.
I'm Seyfin Algan Sofyalı from Moda PR3-II, representing Turkey.
I'm Matt Stankiewicz. Today is January 10th.
Hello, my name is Muista, and this is my qualification race for 500 meters.
This is how Finnish record is done.
Go.
Select workout.
3, 2.
Attention, go.
Well, looks like we're ready to kick off in the men's 60 plus here. We have some hot times expected here. Especially we've got Martin Mario Helani from Denmark pulling in a 123, a significant push ahead of the next few places. We're seeing a lot of 127s through the 130s here in qualifying times. Martin, what do you think? What kind of a race are we going to expect here?
Yeah, I think, it's going to be another close race that we've got to see. It's one of those ones, I think at this age rate, we've got a nice spread of ages from sort of 60 through to 68. Athletes going to be close. There's no one stand out. So I'm not sure who would be my favourite for this event.
Well, we're just waiting on number 4 now, Luca Ayazi, to stop rowing. Once he comes to a standstill, we should be able to get this race going.
Yeah, he's one of the youngest in the race at 60 years of age, Ayazi.
Perhaps it was his youth and his excitement that he was the last one to not row. There's our start. Athletes are off.
Oh, crazy ratings going off in the high 50s. You can see from those 6 athletes on screen, and the leader at the moment looks like it is Jelani from Denmark out in the lead. Jelani coming into this race at just 60, and he is a well-known figure on the international indoor rowing scene.
There he goes, taking his lead. He's really putting his foot down now, holding that 120, especially with his qualifying time. It looks like he's pacing well ahead of himself at this point. Massimo Galetti sitting in second, 14 meters behind first. Luca Ayazi sitting in third. 2 Italians battling for second and third place. See if they're going to give each other any grace here, if they're going to keep to duke it out.
World record's 121 in this race, Shane, so he's not going to be that far off it, is he, Jelani?
No, I don't think so. No, with how tight he held that early on, he may have been gunning for that world record. He's got 50 meters to go.
I think he's probably blown up a little bit now. Look at the splits. He's down to 130. Great effort, though.
Yeah,
just
truly.
Outside the world's best time.
Yeah, came in ahead of his qualifying time. And, yeah, like you said, just off of that world qualifying time, world record time.
Chris Del Rey for Puerto Rican in that bronze medal position, just ahead of Nick Cowan from Great Britain.
Del Rey made a nice push at the end there. He found his placing.
Alzua there back in 8th place. John Sanderson from GB back in 7th. There's Del Rey, the bronze medalist. Puerto Rico. Well, it wasn't so close, that race, after all, after me saying it was going to be so close. Martin Mario Jelani just took it right away. He was on world record pace till I reckon around about 300 metres left to go, where he just lost it a bit.
Yeah, dominant performance there from Jelani of Denmark. Another win from a Danish athlete. They've had a sensational day here at the World Rowing Virtual Indoor Championships. I'm sure everyone watching from Denmark and tuning into our live stream will be very proud. And the full results there for that event. But we're about to embark on our final race of the day. And as I say, you've been great company, guys. Shane, Martin, and I can't wait to hand this over to you for the final 500 meters of the Friday of the 2022 World Rowing Virtual Indoor Championships, but we'll be back again tomorrow. So for the final time today, Shane, what can we expect from this one?
Well, there's going to be something interesting that I want to call out here. Number one, our age split. We've got 60 to 76, so a slightly larger age split here. But keep your eyes on Jeff Arquette. His qualifying time, he came in at a 126.7. which would beat his own current world record of a 127.4. Now, that was his qualifying time, so the real question will stand in today's competition. Can he pull that off again, or perhaps even beat his qualifying time?
Yeah, what a great spot. that could be. That's going to be exciting, isn't it? We always like world records to go, and when they go in the World Championships, it's even more exciting. But he's right in on that age category, isn't he? 60 years of age.
Yeah, you find a lot of those records fall as soon as you see somebody new move into an age category and they want their shot right away. And there he is in the upper left.
So the stop rowing signs have been given.
There's
he looks pumped, doesn't he?
He looks ready. He looks attentive.
Whoosh, there he goes. Big push, isn't it?
Truly. He's got a good connection to that handle right now.
And he's right out in front, Shane.
Oh, yeah, absolutely tearing out of the gates.
So is he on world record pace at the moment? Down at 123s, 124s. His record is 127. So he's inside his world record pace, but he's got to drop down, hasn't he?
It looks like he's trying to settle maybe around a 125. I mean, he may have some serious effort in the tank, and hopefully he's being smart about it. As we saw in the last race, you can come out of the gates hot, hoping for to challenge a world record, but what matters is whether or not you can hold it in the latter half.
Here's where the pain comes in, isn't it? 200 meters left to go, and screen goes fuzzy, his mind goes fuzzy, but he's still holding under world's best time pace, Shane. There we go. He's on that world's best time pace. Is it going to? It's starting to slow down with 100 meters left to go. Has he done enough in the early stages?
We are going to have to see if he can keep it where it is. He's going to be very close. 50 meters to go. He may have given just a little too much, a little too early.
Oh, that's so frustrating. What's it going to be at the finish? I think he's going to be under it. Oh, I think he's under it, Shane.
I think he got it. If this unofficial time stands, I think he got it. We missed a good close race there for second and third as we were watching Jeff come into the finish as well. But definitely call out to the silver medalist Martin Lurienk and Horma Ilka. I'm sorry on that last name. I'm going to struggle with that one. But there we go. Thank you. But I mean, there was a good race happening there as well with a tighter bunching for that second, third, fourth place. But I think we might be seeing a new world record drop. What a great way to end the last race of the day.
Wow. Yeah, there wouldn't be a better way to end the last race of the day with a world record.
That's about as good as you can ask for.
It is about as good as you can ask for. So we'll wait for the confirmation to come from our colleagues at World Rowing. And there it is. This is a new world record for Jeff Arquette. They call him the Colonel, the retired Army man from the USA, picking up that gold medal with a huge lead over the rest of the field. And what a stunning way to end this Friday of the World Rowing Virtual Indoor Championships. More to come tomorrow. And if this is anything to go by, I think we're in for a really exciting day tomorrow. We've got the 2 kilometers to come. So, Shane, what do you think is going to be the kind of main difference between today's racing and tomorrow's racing?
Well, number one, you're going to hear a lot more from us because we've got some longer races. So you're certainly going to get a lot more talking. If you want more of that and our personalities here in the studio, you're going to be in the right place tomorrow. But the races play out so differently when you move from a 500 to a 2K. It becomes so much more about strategy. You can see a lot more changes in place. You can see, different strategies and how they take hold. I think it's much more of, it's almost like watching a chess match as the day goes on. You get to see these athletes and how they've really prepped for a longer piece.
So make sure that you're tuning back in again tomorrow, and we kick off at 10 o'clock UTC tomorrow. So a huge thank you to our whole commentary team, to Shane Farmer, to Martin Cross, and to Akil Abdullah, who we had earlier. Thank you all for tuning in. We hope to see you back here again tomorrow, and we hope you've enjoyed the first day of racing at the 2022 World Rowing Virtual Indoor Championships presented by Concept 2.
Charlotte Dixon's going to take this.
This is going to be an incredible finish.
So exciting, but it's so close.
Bar Hansen of Denmark just crept in there.
Meg Knight just gets it.
Here comes Arabella Carbut.